Katha?
Yes,
Really?
I said hello.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't catch it. Give me just a second.
Oh, these baby bats.
Baby bats.
Tell me what you want. I really, really want.
The
I
swaddled
want
baby
the
bats are
death
always
of
adorable.
all mankind.
I'll tell you what I want. What I really, really want.
Before
I
Ciro,
want 15 men dead at my heel.
before Ciro said give me a minute, I accidentally hit record, so you're all online.
Oh,
Oh,
so we've been
shit.
recording?
We will
I was
have
not
to
ready.
kill every single
No.
child in Denmark before I am
Why?
done.
Why
See, I was
Denmark?
just-
Alright.
I was just
And that's
suiting up
just
for baby
and that's
bats.
just out there now. Congratulations.
The king
Okay,
of Hamlet will pay for their insolence.
I'm trying to get a... should we start over?
If they
Not
do not
really.
wish to suffer, they should not have called for me.
Okay, Ciro.
Okay,
TT, we've been on recording for 15 minutes. We're trying to get
I
going.
know. I'm aware.
Right, Ciro, go.
Ciro.
fuck. Are we still going from the same thing?
Yeah. I can cut that shit out, but okay, we're ready.
Oh well. So are we
Yeah.
still recording or?
And we should be going.
And welcome back to Oasis Valley Mysteries. It's almost been a month since our last session, so let's see if I can remember how things went. Last time we had the group dealing with the first encounter with the monstrous foe for this arc, as it tried to prey on one of its targets, the biker known as Texas, even though he apparently only comes from Oklahoma. But
What a
putting
poser.
yourselves into harm's way, and you all managed to actually fight it off, sustaining some injuries among you, but in recovering back at the preserve, and bringing Texas with you for protection. The preserve being, besides Pluripotent, probably the most safe place that any of you can think of at the moment.
You're welcome.
Hanzo, you realized that you got contacted from your boss, Dara McLean, the head of Pluripotent Security Forces. You learned that there had been another attack simultaneously when you had the encounter at the bar, as another biker seemingly involved with the incident with the Epiphany deal gone wrong. You met with the coroner for redemption, the vampire Dr. Guerrero, and he walked you through some. This was after you investigated the scene of the crime of the most recent one. Learned that cited there was Saburo, Soda Saburo, the brother of one of the slain people at the deal, and now the main suspect in this murder investigation. At Guerrero's, you learned that all but one of the bikers discovered at the scene had been killed following the MO of the flame-handed killer. This one, however, seemed to have been shot, which for his line of living probably wasn't too strange, especially since the doctor even said he had fragments of previous bullets in him still. But the bone itself was made out of bone, and according to Guerrero, believes it was pluripotent technology that created it. After leaving, you met back up with the group. Olivia, you made a call to Sheila, the investigative reporter who also works for the local news station. And you went off to go meet her. And while Fred was getting his wounds tended after, well, for the second time, actually third time, because first it was your new friends from the biker bar. Then Tommy tried his hand at it. It didn't go so well, so you had to get your wounds touched up a third time at the preserve. So while that was going on, we left off with Connor having a vision of a funeral procession where a windstorm containing a flaming tiger appeared and stole the funeral cart holding the coffin. And that is when you woke up. And that also, while this was going on, while Olivia was gone, one of the people were one of the lab techs at the preserve came up and said they had the results for the analysis on the tooth that Olivia had recovered from a javelina, and found out that it was, as far as the genetics could tell and the shape of it, probably thylacine based or Tasmanian tiger. And that's pretty much where we left off. So, people are resting there. So, I guess we'll start with you, Olivia.
Oh, I.
So,
Olivia,
where did you tell Sheila to meet you?
We were Oh man, we were meeting somewhere, maybe like a bus stop or something.
Yeah, I think it was a bus stop near the preserve.
I think so. Like where people wouldn't really be like active
Yeah,
to listen
the
to
bus
us.
isn't. Yeah, and the bus doesn't run this late in this area, so.
Yeah. Somewhere that's kind of public, so she's not worried I'm going to stab her in the dark. But also somewhere that's clearly like, oh yeah, I don't want anyone else to hear this.
Yeah, there's like a. It's not like the parking lot of the preserve area, but there is a decently sized bus stop a little bit down the road from it. It's usually where the buses drop off, people coming to visit before it turns around and goes back into town. But so you're waiting there. It's night. Doing anything? Just waiting.
I guess it's like, no, that'd be creepy. I was gonna say like make sure my gun isn't jammed or anything, but that'd be creepy for her to look at. No, I'm just looking around the night, looking for any nocturnal animals moving about.
Okay. You do see like a few normal bats like diving through the moths by the street lamp. But you do hear, maybe off way in the distance, you hear, some of the calls from the preserve.
Hi, babies.
And the it just seems like an average night. Springtime, it's not, it's actually gets kind of cool in the night. But
nice.
Thankfully, you don't notice any wind. Just a gentle, well, not really intense, just gentle evening breeze, no real windstorms. But after a few minutes, you do see the headlights of a car after a bit, approach. And eventually it pulls up, and it's the car you've seen Sheila pull up, her car, and she parks, and she steps out, kind of looks around, then locks up with her little notepad. Goes, so, Olivia, what you got for me? And she flips it open. Straight to business, it seems.
Yeah. What's the name of the drug again?
Epiphany.
Epiphany, thank you. Pluripotent had a leak.
Okay.
Some epiphany's gotten out and is being sold around.
And like she started writing, and like she didn't seem concerned or like alarmed when you said a leak at pluripotent. Once you mentioned the name of the drug, she pauses and looks up and goes, "Epiphany, you're sure about that?"
Yeah, pretty sure. Like I didn't fucking eat it or break it down myself, but
Right. Well, that's would explain why the police are in such a tizzy. And she, goes back to jotting down. She goes, so someone from Pluripotent is leaking Epiphany onto the streets. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm. I just felt like people should know. Like, the people who want it already know. But the people who don't are either going to get it by mistake and get hurt, or people with it are going to take advantage of someone else.
Always the altruism with you, isn't it, kid? All right.
Yeah, I'm not a kid.
And she kind of rolls her eyes and she goes, "So, well, would you know if that has anything to do with the recent murders that happened today? Not far from here."
I don't know for sure yet, but I
Heard it was something with a biker gang.
yeah.
And then there was that biker who died down in Little Japan, and I happened to see your buddy Hanzo there too.
All right, he's not my buddy. First of all, we're work associates at best.
Damn.
Okay, so Preserve still works with Pluripotent. Good to know. As she
No.
something down.
Listen, I put my hand on the notebook and pull it down.
And she pulls it back. She's like, "Don't touch."
I take it away from her, but just pull it down so it's out of her sight, so she has to
Yeah,
look
no,
at me.
as soon as you touch it, she pulls it back. She's very defensive about it. She's like, "You don't mess with a reporter's notebook."
Okay, I could have gone to anybody. There's plenty of other people in this town who would take this information. The Preserve is not working with Pluripotent. It has just happened that him, who works for Pluripotent, and me, who works for the Preserve, are looking into similar things to make sure people are going to be okay. Do your job as a journalist and don't report shit that's not happening.
I don't need the condescension, but I get your point.
I don't
However,
appreciate you.
However, this revelation of the Epiphany would explain why your friend there, co-worker, associate, whatever you want to call him, was there, because it did seem strange that Pluripotent agents were investigating what seemed to be a gang dispute.
I haven't heard about this one, have I?
No.
Happened.
Yeah,
wait,
yeah. You
what
wouldn't
is
have heard
this?
that Hanzo hasn't gotten back yet.
Yeah. What's this about?
Actually, I can't remember if you left to go meet with her before or after Hanzo got the message.
Yeah, I
can't remember.
I think she had already left by the time Hanzo was trying to call and get in contact with her.
Okay. So yeah, you wouldn't have heard this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What's this about a murder in Little Japan?
Oh, well, definitely. And she lists the time that you would have been dealing with the biker bar, because not long after sunset, a sandstorm seemed to whip up suddenly in Little Japan, and there was a few gunfires, some screams, and then when it cleared, supposedly someone was standing over the body of a biker before they also disappeared in the confusion.
Was there a sandstorm?
Yeah, that's what I said. Sandstorm whipped up downtown in Little Japan, which is weird. Not many fields.
Was there anyone mention fire?
Kind of flips back a few pages and she goes, actually, yeah. There was mention of they thought there might have been a fire going on. They saw something that flames in the sand, but there wasn't any fire there. No evidence of flames, except for I heard that the victim was burned, which is actually going to. So you're involved with this already, it seems. Do you know if this has anything to do with the flame-handed killer from the when was this? 70s?
Is that what?
Yeah, it
I
was
don't
the
like. I know Hanzo knows about that, but is that one news to me? I don't know if
Yeah,
that's been.
this would be
Yeah.
because you didn't hear about what
Yeah,
Susan,
actually, yeah.
what Susan said either.
I
You've
don't
been
think
out of the
Hanzo
loop, and now
showed
you're the
up.
one talking to. Okay, so yeah, she just mentions the flame-handed killer, and she
Yeah.
goes,
Wait. What's the what?
Yeah,
flame-handed
because
killer.
Carlos would know
awful
about
name.
that too. But you haven't
Please.
talked to Carlos.
You're not here.
I'm at the
Yeah,
I'm at the preserve.
Olivia separated.
Yeah. I
Right.
split the party.
But
Yeah.
she goes, flame-handed killer, string of murders from the 70s. Awful name, but, you know.
It's not that
But-
bad. Heard worse serial killer nicknames.
Yeah, true. And she goes, but yeah, it was, she actually, like, goes back to her car. Hold on a second. And she pulls out, it looks to be a small folder that she, and it's like, she flips through, and there's, like, newspaper clippings inside it, and, like, new printouts. It looks like maybe photocopies of old things that she comes up and she's looking through, and she goes, yeah, back in the 70s, there was the flame-handed killer killings, flame-handed killer string of murders, and they didn't mention this in the news much because they were worried it would hurt, you know, pluripotent's recruitment drive back, but it was all of them were members of the Miyake group. Something of an offshoot of Japanese gangsters, something about Yakuza. Ties with the Yakuza back in Japan. I don't know.
Is that?
But
That's a weirdly specific. Oh no. That's not a weird. That's a such a specific
yeah,
target.
like
That's not something.
I went
that
into
doesn't sound very serial killer.
yeah, I went looking into some of the deep archive stuff at the library, which honestly you should take a look at if I wasn't able to get through all of it, but if you're tracking this too, you might be able to find something there. And
Thank you. Yeah,
she
thank
goes,
you for that.
yeah, just let the librarian know that I sent you, and she should let you
Alright.
do it. But
Hello?
hello,
Hello?
Ray.
Great.
Gray.
Coward.
Ow. Hello.
There we go. Now I can hear
Okay.
you. Sorry about that.
Okay,
Good.
Yeah, we can hear you.
we can hear you.
Yeah, you all just cut off suddenly mid sentence, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Discord just does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, she goes, yeah, just go to the library, tell the librarian I sent you to let you into the deep archives, which isn't a place you've gotten to. It's like, she goes, it's under, you know, it's in the basement. I hope you're not allergic to dust. But she goes,
I live in a desert. I hope not.
yeah.
What is her full name again?
Sheila Riggy.
Sheila
And that's
Riggy.
Riggy with 2 G's.
Cool.
Sheila
Thank you.
Riggy. Walking down the street.
Stop it.
Sheila Riggy.
Shady.
What?
So she goes, yeah, she goes, so it was buried, but, you know, there was still, you know, I got some previous reporter stuff, and there were a few articles that did run before they got pulled, but, you know, deep archive, they've got all kinds of stuff down there. But from what I could tell, it was the Miyake group is originally, you know, it was the Miyake group was supposedly responsible for helping expedite, air quotes, the influx of workers from Japan for pluripotent in the 70s.
Oh, they were shipping in cheap labor.
Basically, and
Of course, it
the
sounds
deaths
like
were all
pluripotent.
members. The members were all The deaths were all members of various ranks within the group, and especially the head of the group back then, Chichiro
They got to the head of
Miyake.
it.
Yeah,
That
and killer was never found, but it was all believed to be revenge motivated. And she pulls out a photocopied sheet of a clipping, and it's like, it's believed to be revenge motivated due to the victim's previous alleged ties to a. And she hands you the thing, and it's like, mystery surrounds mass grave found outside of town in the desert. And
A mass grave?
yeah, apparently there was about like 7 people found, all killed, execution style, and evidence pointed that it was ties to the Miyake group, but nothing was ever proven. And then the murder started happening not long after. The sensationalization of the flame-handed killers kind of overwhelmed the mass grave.
It's the same fucking thing.
What do you mean?
Someone gets murdered, or someone by it's targeting. All right, how much of the wooey shit around town this place have you heard?
Wooey? What?
You know, weird shit.
That's what I thought you meant. I just never heard that word before.
The 90s, probably not used as much.
She goes, I mean, there's some weird shit that goes all the way back to the founding of the town and probably before. I mean, she kind of like does a little tap, she taps her foot and she goes, I mean, considering what's been under here since before, people were people.
Right?
But.
All right. So,
from what I can tell, this is something going after criminal groups. I mean, biker gang with their own problems, and then a Yakuza-tied group. She kind of just shrugs and goes, something's up, and I definitely want to get to the bottom of this. Although, considering what happened in the 70s, I'll probably, be depressed if I try to bring this out. Especially if there's a tie to Epiphany and Pluripotent.
So I don't know if I think Pluripotent was Epiphany was what was being done, sold at the time of the murders, and I think those murders kicked off this revenge this time.
Maybe someone tied to the people that were killed.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's definitely it would be a motive for sure, but it's just, I looked at some of the reports of the previous killings and heard about some of the ones happening now, and that doesn't sound, she kind of pauses, she goes, that doesn't sound human.
So,
and she's kind of looking at you to see, like, try to read your expression and reaction to that.
She's like, when she says not human, she's like keeping a straight face on purpose. Like, she's trying not to react.
Not react harder.
You scratch my back, I'm scratching yours. I don't think it's human either. Okay, I know it's not human either. I don't know what it is. And I know this is the kind of stuff you're not going to put in a paper because no one will believe you.
I mean, at least not this paper.
Not this paper. Fair. I don't know if I saw it, but I saw something that's a part of this, and I haven't figured out how yet.
Interesting. Oh, there was one thing I noticed, though. With the killings back in the 70s, it was always, except for, certain groups, it was always one or the same people in the same location each night. So it was like, I don't know.
A member of the group was killed, but there was still another member of the group there?
Well, if they were either isolated or there were the most that died seemingly at one time was when the boss died. He was found killed with his, I'm guessing, bodyguards. 2 of them. But
Oh, so they go when they're in lesser numbers. This thing goes after them when they're alone.
That's usually how serial killers operate, if we're still judging by that metric. But
I don't
perhaps,
think this is a serial
I
killer.
mean, if something's hunting, yeah, and she like gestures in the direction of the preserve. I mean, you should know this. When something's hunting, you go after whoever is away from the herd or the pack. But she goes, so
Does
is anything
anything
else?
from those old stories talk about cats?
I mean,
Witnesses see anything feline?
There was a partially redacted autopsy file that I did find that did mention feline-like claws, that they said that maybe there was a mountain lion that got to one of them after they were dead, but who knows? They didn't really. A lot of that report was heavily redacted, and of course, I'm sure if I dug, you'd probably know who was responsible for that censoring.
Fucking pluripotent.
Although, why they would be interested in a seemingly supernatural revenge killing? That's weird.
Well, I mean, if the Miyake group was helping pluripotent get cheap work,
yeah, they probably don't want that connection to come out into the public. And especially during the 70s. The 70s, as you know, was like the heyday of pluripotent expansion and like popularity.
Yeah. And this time, with Epiphany getting out and being what I think the bikers were selling, they're probably going to try and hush this up too.
More than likely. So
I don't like pluripotent, and you don't like pluripotent.
I mean,
Pluripotent
I
doesn't
guess
like
watch out for
pluripotent.
your. Sorry, what was that?
Pluripotent doesn't like pluripotent.
And she goes, huh? In that case, I'd probably watch what you say around your
He knows.
coworker.
He knows. He knows I'm not a fan.
Well, she kind of looks at her watch and goes, well, it's late and I still have a deadline I need to get out for tomorrow's. But
thank you for what you've given me.
Yes, I'll definitely make sure this goes out. I probably won't be able to officially say that it's Epiphany on the streets, but I do have some people I could talk to get the word out.
Knowledge is power. You can do something with that power.
I mean, that's almost the motto of the Falcon Lake Witness. So I'll definitely be bringing this to them.
All right. The what?
Falcon Lake Witness. It's the I'd say you probably know. You're sort of interested in the supernatural, right? And local
more
weirdness.
so recently.
Then yeah, you probably would have heard about this. The Falcon Lake Witness is a published newspaper / magazine. Yeah, it's kind of a tabloid, but it's run by as Sheila goes. No, it's run by a few friends of mine. They're all into the weird stuff.
I didn't know you were into the weird shit.
I mean, you live here long enough, and I'm a reporter living in Redemption. The weird stuff crops up. I didn't come here looking for weirdness beyond, the superorganism, but she kind of shrugs.
But then you find things like Rawhead.
And she kind of frowns seriously at that. She goes, "You've heard of Rawhead?"
Unfortunately, that's a whole other matter entirely.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm glad I haven't encountered yet from everything I've heard from survivors, or supposed survivors. Yeah. Stay away from that if you do. The stories are not encouraging. Wait, what was that?
I will if I have a choice.
And she kind of chuckles at that. She goes, well, I mean, good luck. She goes, so, if you hear anything else, give me a call.
Yeah, if you get anything, quid pro quo.
She goes, see, I knew we would be able to work nicely together eventually.
We'll see we'll see how this works.
Yes, yes. And she goes,
I'll be sure to read what you put out.
she goes, good. Well, I better get going. Watch out for the
Yeah.
Road King. Apparently, he's been stalking the streets again.
That's one I haven't run into.
Neither have I, but apparently the people who get away from them say it's terrifying. But
I
they,
wouldn't be surprised.
yeah, I mean, the last victim was about kind of thanks. Oh, it was last year's, I think, or at least it was attributed. Someone ran off the road and body mangled, and well, what they found was mangled. Always chalk it up to coyotes or mountain lions scavenging, but if you see a couple of those wrecks, you recognize.
Maybe I can lead one thing into the other. Let them take care of each other.
Oh boy.
Wish me luck.
Oh, on Dracula versus Wolfman, huh?
I wish.
There she goes. I still think they really should have cast an actual vampire for that role, but whatever. And
Yeah,
she's,
that's so weird
gets
that
in
they
their
didn't.
car.
Oh, want to pass around some of the weirder shit?
Hmm?
Maybe werewolves. And she shrugs.
Okay. I mean, that's not any weirder than, vampires ended up being real.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
it's just so funny that she, of all people, is the one that agrees with Olivia on that.
It's really funny.
But she goes, all right, well, watch yourself out there. I'm going to get going.
If you've got anything, call me. And vice
Yeah,
versa.
And she, starts her car and pulls off. And so you can walk back to the preserve when you want.
We'll do so.
Yeah, so you start walking. It won't be a long walk, but so back to the others before we start skipping time because it's getting late in the day or night. So, Carlos, Connor, and Tommy, I think you were all up there in one of the lounge areas that kind of it was like a it's like an observation deck that normally tourists would go to, but it's also used as a break room by people in the preserve. So you've just been hanging out there.
Yep.
Connor, you just woke up from an interesting dream.
Yeah, he doesn't quite know how to process that one, so he's going to keep it to himself for now.
Carlos is sitting there at one of the tables, fiddling around with a deck of cards. Just kind of chilling.
Just playing cards?
It is just regular old bicycle playing cards.
Okay.
Which he didn't steal from one of the employee lockers.
AKA the slipperiest fucking things in existence.
So, I guess eventually, actually, not long after this, you'd probably be. Oh, wait. Fred's all hopped up on painkillers, so he might be going to bed.
Oh, we gotta kill all the kids at Denmark, Mr. Phineas? That seems kind of extreme.
Oh, you sweet. I am never going to let you live down half the things you've said while you've been punch drunk.
Oh, wait. No, Tommy, you were down there when you weren't up there. You were. Who was it that the person approached? It was Winifred.
It was
and...
Tommy.
Yeah, it was Tommy and Winifred. They approached.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh wait, did Hanzo? Did you get back to the?
He is not back at the preserve, no.
Okay.
He is still driving.
Back there, right? Okay. So yeah, Winifred and Tommy, you just got that news. Well, Fred's there. I don't know if Fred absorbed it, but.
I didn't know. I'm busy with this fella telling me some really
Yeah, I don't think
dark stuff.
I don't think
Yeah,
Fred is
like,
absorbing anything except more
The
morphine.
vet, like one of the
Yeah.
vet that kind of helped patch you up. It's like normally hallucinations aren't a side effect of what we gave him.
Well, Fred's a special guy. Bless his heart.
Tommy.
I mean,
it's
a lot of
contaminant.
stuff got in that wound.
Yeah, it's Tommy contaminant.
Wow.
You just
Wow.
you infected him
I'm
with yourself.
sorry, you're the one who says your character like popped out of a out of the dumpster at the bar. So
You probably got at least one heroin needle in you.
It is the early 90s. It's at least 4.
oh God, no. So anyways,
Listen.
moving on from that.
Listen, you guys don't know if Tommy was wiping himself down with a wipe as he was running out of the trash can? You don't
Yes, we
know.
do. Yes, we do.
So, I mean, so, oh yeah, the sunglasses for the Road King. Yeah, so, Winifred and Tommy, you got the news that the tooth is supposedly a thylacine, and while thylacines are no longer extinct, they are no longer here on the preserve. They've all been shipped back to, as if you ask one of the people there, all the thylacines have been shipped back to Australia and New Zealand and Tasmania.
Come to Tasmania.
Damn it.
So
The island. But, yeah, so they're just, they delivered it and walked off. So you got that news.
I'm pretty sure.
Unless there's like. Sorry, go ahead.
No, he was just gonna say I'm pretty sure they got rid of all these and put them back where they were supposed to be. So why this
Probably.
is here is just weird, more weird than it already is.
Maybe one got out.
And became a thylacine.
You don't know.
I mean, that'd be funny. One just slipped off the preserve and just went feral in the desert. It's like, oh, this isn't too different from Australia. Not bad.
I mean, a lack of large natural predators giving the low populations of mountain lions at this time. Small game being fairly plentiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck it, the Thylacine's Wonderland.
And yeah, I mean, it would track, but I guess like just to speed things along, I guess this would be around the time. Olivia, as you're walking up to the preserve, you see another car start pulling up behind you, and Hanzo, you see Olivia walking out down the side of the road into the parking lot of the preserve as you pull up. It's just like, oh, what is she doing?
And then there's
too.
this asshole.
The two
I guess
kind of
this-
show up at the same time.
This is my own.
I did want to
Um,
do something before
Oh yeah, go ahead.
showing up.
Yeah, because you would have had time for that. Yeah, Hanzo, What
Yes.
are you up to?
It's during his drive back after leaving Little Japan and thinking about how fucking
Well, you went from Little Japan to the coroner's office, so you'd be leaving the coroner's office because the
yeah,
crime
that's
scene
it.
was the more immediate.
That's it.
Okay. because they were waiting to start cleaning up the crime scene waiting for you to get there and take a look.
That's right. Let me check my notes. What's that? Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Checking. Karada, that's the name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The victims.
Yeah. Well, chronologically, he is leaving the coroner's office. It's just because that was on his mind. Having left Little Japan, that's his neck of the woods. Thinking about how one of the Karada kids was one of the local victims at the crime scene, and how eyewitness reports claim that it was his brother. Was it Soda or Sada?
Actually, let me go check to make sure I'm saying the correct one, because there's Saburo and Soda. Let me see which one was the one that got killed. Yeah, the one that you saw was Saburo. The one that was supposedly seen at the crime scene was Soda. Sota.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's just thinking about that, and with his music player playing songs from where he's from, he is transported to a memory where he is a young boy accompanying his father to the funeral of the funeral procession for a friend of his father's. And they're going through motions, and part of the funeral procession is we won't let the Baku eat this, we won't let the Kasha eat this, and they repeat this a few times. And he remembers looking to his father, this enormous man, and he asking why they're doing that. And he explains that they don't want the Kasha to take away the body. And it's only now with hindsight than knowing what his father, the line of work his father was in. He actually stops the car, pulls off to the side of the street, and has to process the information for a few seconds before he realizes, fuck. And he uses the phone to call up the preserve again.
And it would be Mr. Lyons, he's the manager of the preserve, while Lucy is the head of the science side. He's the head of the management part of it. So he answers and he goes, hello?
This is Agent Hanzo again.
Oh, yes, hello. What can I do for you?
Could you put someone on the phone?
I'm somewhat rude.
I'm just sorry. I'm blanking on names.
Gerbins.
Olivia?
Gerbins.
Carlos.
Yeah, can you put Carlos on the phone?
Winifred.
Where he's at? Give me just a second.
I am at the preserve, chilling.
Yeah, so there'll be a few minutes, Hanzo, as someone has to go find, and eventually, Carlos, as you're doing your card tricks, someone pops their head in, and it's a middle-aged black man. He kind of looks down and he goes, "Oh, Carlos, there you are." And he points to a phone that's on the wall, a corded phone, and there's a light blinking. He's like, Hanzo's on the line for you.
Oh, thank you. Carlos will go
Gets a thumbs
home.
up and leaves.
Carlos will pick it up and go for Carlos.
How's that, Tommy?
Hmm?
Oh, Tommy got muted. There was a huff, and I was like, what? And then I see he's muted.
Mm.
So, yep. Good.
So Hanzo's on the end, is it? Carlos,
Yep.
I know what we're dealing with.
Good, because right now the leading theory is where thylacine.
Carlos, around your neck, you probably have your cassette or your headphones, right?
Mhm.
And you kind of hear that click of your cassette play, and there's just all of a sudden you hear the opening riff of "Burn in Hell" by Twisted Sister start.
Oh my god.
Okay. So what is it?
What do you know about sealing spirits?
Some.
Good, because we're dealing with Akasha.
That sounds familiar.
It's a spirit from my homeland. It's a hellcat.
Shit.
They're drawn to the bodies of sinners.
Oh boy, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. They generally steal the corpse either to eat it or puppet it.
Okay, and that would.
And I'm just coming from a crime scene where apparently Soda Karada was seen, and I highly suspect he was also at the crime scene with his murdered brother.
I think previously we established that you recognized the Karada name and some of the other kids because they were like occasional customers.
Yeah, we did establish that. That is an interesting situation. And I'm just going to be 100% upfront with you as well. Just as you started talking with the ID, the music box started going off. I'll start getting books.
Yeah, because from what little I remember, I don't remember any way to take them down. It was mostly prevention, but I'm pretty sure this is the thing responsible for the flame-handed killings years back, and it was stopped then. So
potentially sealed away until somebody did something goofy, like, I don't know.
Didn't you all find a cactus?
Actually, you did.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
You did mention a cactus earlier.
Yeah.
Connor mentioned that too, finding it as well.
I think it was sealed away in a nondescript cactus, and it just so happened that the drug deal went down right nearby.
So we're looking at a supernatural creature that's been sealed away for who knows how, like the 80s, since 10 years, and a cactus, which probably hasn't made it any more helpful, and gave it just the right recipe for it to come back full swing. Fun.
Yeah.
Well, alrighty. Like I said, I'll have to go back to my digs to get the books, but I think I've got some stuff on sealing spirits.
I'm on my way to the reserve now. I should be arriving soon.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for Olivia. I don't know where she went. Like, I was taking a nap, to be honest with you. So
I see her.
Nice. Well, get her in the loop. I'll go get the information, and we'll we'll see if our buddy's just enough out of the drug haze to get him into a car. And without clarifying, he just hangs up there.
I assume that's about Tommy.
Yes. Tommy.
Yes, definitely.
No, we're doing drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Fred, how you handling, bud?
Oh, I'm really great. I think someone was telling me to kill everyone in Denmark, though, and I'm kind of concerned about that.
There was no one telling you to kill about Denmark. That was.
You sure there wasn't like a thin British man in a bowler hat with a tweed jacket
There was
in my room
You have
commanding me to enact Horatio's vengeance?
You look over at the vet that patched them up, and she just like shrugs and shakes her head like she's got no clue.
Can I roll a weird to see if I can see the weird tweed man in the thin hat?
Sure.
You gotta roll a joint first.
Would that be use a magic, because you have magical.
I do have magical nonsense. Let's see. So, with my 3 and weird, and the 9 on the dice, I got a 12.
Don't worry, kids at home. I know that smoking joints doesn't make you hallucinate, but Fred doesn't.
But Fred.
So you like kind of blink and you start looking, and there's not really, you don't really see anything around. It's just looks normal. So you're trying to see like invisible things, or just supervision?
I'm just like opening the concept of having the magic eyes.
I
don't know if the song "Suddenly I See" came out by this point. Let me check something.
Here's the thing, Carlos. You're not in Melody. You're in Oasis Valley. There's not going to be a British man in a tweed jacket.
Yeah, no.
Not gonna be
so yeah, he's. I'm just looking to see if there's anything invisible or cursed, or if this is just a drug trip. I guess.
This is a place. This is a world where there's a sense of cohesion in the narrative world building.
I mean, you don't know yet. This is only the third arc. We got places to go, man.
Yeah, we could find our hide.
You're more focused as a DM than I
am. So, no, nothing pops out immediately, but you do see like. Connor, did you follow down to the place now that you got woken up from your nap?
I mean, if everybody's moving down, he's going to move with them.
Okay, so yeah, Carlos and Connor, you went down to meet Winifred, Fred, and Tommy down in the medical area. And but yeah, besides like Connor kind of looks like a little splotchier than normal, you don't really notice anything.
Okay. That's actually, just the drugs,
such a
buddy.
high roll. No, actually, with such a high roll, you would notice that Connor, there is like a faint heat shimmer, like a haze around him, but not much.
Just gonna tuck that away for later date information. And it's like, nope, there's nobody here in a tweed hat.
Oh, that's good. I fucking hate tweed and everyone who wears it.
What was that, Nora?
Why are you looking for someone in a tweed hat?
Because Fred was hallucinating, and
I was hallucinating about a gentleman in a tweed hat telling me to kill all the sons of Denmark.
Does Olivia say that as she walks in?
Yeah. That's what she walks in and hears it. I'm like, why are you looking
Olivia
for someone?
and Hans, you walk in like you met in the parking lot and walked in together.
It's Horatio's revenge.
Who the fuck is Horatio?
I don't know. I guess that British guy.
And the vet tech is like, you mean like from Shakespeare? Hamlet?
Quite possibly, yes.
out of game. I'm suddenly wondering if I'm like suddenly misremembering. Is Horatio from Hamlet?
Horatio is from Hamlet. He's Hamlet's best friend,
That's-
possible lover.
I was pretty sure, but then there was that moment where I was just like, oh wait, I'm saying something that's going online. Did I say something wrong?
TC said cock Batman, so I don't think you can really do that.
I'm
Don't bring that up.
I don't know Shakespeare lore. Burn.
You do have to remember I'm a Shakespeare nerd on account of my father,
Yeah.
and also because of my own love of Shakespeare. So
See,
the choice of Horatio was intentional. It was indeed a Hamlet reference.
so
Good.
if you make a flub, you could easily say, well, this is an alternate reality. You know, Aristotle wrote Shakespeare.
Shakespeare wrote Aristotle passionate love notes.
Oh, that's why he's
I
called
don't know if you're
Shakespeare.
telling truth or not. in that
I'm
one.
not. Aristotle and Shakespeare are separated by centuries.
Yeah, no, it's just I wasn't sure if like Shakespeare wrote about Aristotle or not.
That'd be pretty nice.
Anyways.
Unrelated to anything melody related, but like the Con Marie method of folding clothes really saves a shitload of space.
Really?
Yeah,
Anyway,
I could fit so many shirts in this bad boy now. God damn. Anyways, go on.
how are you feeling? Any better?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty all right. Pretty spry, you might say. Like I
He's
could go
getting-
and have the world for breakfast.
He's getting over his
Yeah.
weed high.
He's
The
getting
tech
over
was
what?
like the tech
He's getting better.
excusers. So she goes, all right, as long as he doesn't pick at his bandages, you'll be fine. You know.
As long as I know what now?
I gotta go. Don't pick at your bandages.
Oh. Shit.
Oh, you said something.
And she goes, I'll be back in a bit. And she goes off with probably like carrying a cart. Olivia, you know, that is like, it's just like a cart that has like medical equipment for the things. And it looks like she has to go give something a shot.
Thank you.
And she goes, just don't wreck the place. And she kind of laughs and waves and walks off. But so you are currently alone in the medical wing.
Well, welcome back, Humbo.
My name's Fred, but thank you. It's good to good to be
Hanzo's
back.
Here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he
I
was just on the
talking
phone
to
with me.
Hanzo.
Oh.
I
am glad you
Fred
are.
was so high he didn't realize Hanzo wasn't there anymore.
Oh, I'm glad, Fred. I am glad that you are feeling better.
I'm glad you're feeling better too.
I wasn't hurt.
Oh shit, you weren't?
That thing didn't touch me.
So
I
the
don't know.
harpoon? I imagine the harpoon?
You
I was
Yes.
briefly afraid that Fred's power was such that he would decide, "You're not in this episode, Hanzo," and I disappeared.
On, Hanzo!
That would have been the perfect time to if he said that. That would have been the perfect time to log out.
Oh, fuck.
Send this
No, I will-
boo-boo bear to the bye-bye zone!
No.
Boo-boo bear to
I
the-
didn't get hit. I'm fine. I've got like a whole set of like stuff to wear when we see that thing again.
Speaking of, I have a pretty good idea of what that thing is.
You
I have
do.
two.
And what is
I
that?
think it's... Tasmania hasn't debuted. It's 1991. Fuck! I have no idea.
I mean, Taz the Devil is still a character.
Yeah, but Tasmania, which is what this is referencing, wasn't.
Yeah.
How did you find out what this thing is in the time it took you to go somewhere? What'd you hear? What'd you find out?
And what do you
Who are you
think it
sleeping
is?
with?
There was another murder in Little Japan. At the same time, we were being attacked.
Oh, so you
Oh,
went
shit.
off to another crime scene.
Yes.
Okay,
I mean, I figured.
I'm trying to follow your logic, but the only Japanese thing I can think of is ninjas, and I feel if I suggest it's that, I'm a bit of a racist. So
That's racist. It's kind of racist.
I'm fairly
So is it-
confident we're dealing with a Japanese Hellcat.
okay. Well, that's not what I would have expected at all. But I'll accept that as my.
A yokai.
Okay. What the fuck's a yokai?
Spirit.
Oh, sweet summer child, we will have.
No,
a
this
talk
is the
later.
90s. This is the
Yeah,
90s.
one of
Yeah,
Yes,
to be fair.
Carlos would know.
and it's like you're talking to the wizard. The wizard's gonna
Fair point.
educate you
Fair point.
later.
Of anyone, it would be Carlos who probably recognized that.
You
Mhm.
say
It's
fair point,
yokai.
fair point.
That's John Lennon's wife, right?
What?
You okay,
No,
Bruno?
it's a spirit.
Olivia just looks at you. I gotta tell them to give you softer drugs next time.
Like water.
I gave him
Yeah,
like
like
a
fucking
quarter of
water.
a pill.
I'm not convinced he wouldn't get drunk off the water.
And
I mean, depends on where you pump it up from in town.
Exactly.
That's
Thank you.
story.
Oh no.
also depends on who's doing the pumping.
Next,
Oh my god.
That superorganism water be hitting different.
oh my god.
I mean,
what are you?
Winifred,
Oh, well done.
Winifred does know that you are very much told not to drink the water in the superorganism, because there are like streams and stuff like you encountered, but you were told not to drink it because who knows what's swimming in it.
Yeah, don't
Ooh.
drink that.
Mhm.
Tommy comes in.
It might drink you.
Tommy comes in. Hey guys, I got some water from outside.
You're not.
Why is it red?
Oh, lay that shit on me, sir.
Hell yeah!
Do not
guzzle
drink
it.
that.
So that's uncanon.
So thirsty.
That's
Yeah.
non-canon.
It is.
Hey, so Anzo, what's a yokai?
Oh yeah, we gotta focus a little bit. Jesus.
It's
Yeah.
effectively it's a
Nearly month, we're a
spirit.
little punchy.
They come in near infinite varieties.
So
Think of it like as a term used for anything supernatural, but it's from Japan.
Yes.
oh, so
So,
like those
Japanese
demons,
boogeyman.
goblins.
So it's like the Japanese word for monster.
Alright, so this particular yokai of yours, what is it?
It's called a kasha, and it is a hellcat. They are
Like
drawn to the corpses of sinners.
That's metaphysical.
So they
Rat.
raid graveyards?
They're a little bit more bold than scavengers. They will outright steal corpses from funeral processions.
but we need those.
Connor, you hear a voice goes, "Oh, that explains that then."
So it is how he's like, no shit.
They
Okay.
typically steal the bodies either to eat them or to puppeteer them. And I'm fairly certain
Fuck.
that the eyewitness report at the other crime scene is one of those puppeted bodies.
So it's not a victim going on a rampage. It's something puppeteering a victim's corpse.
I suspect Soda was at the drug deal with his brother Sabiro. He actually may have died with his brother or been fatally wounded, but I suspect he was hit and stumbled away to the cactus, which contained the kasha.
Do they attach to plants?
They can be sealed.
They are spirits. Because
Okay,
I'm fairly certain this is what was responsible for the flame-handed serial killings. Clearly,
No
it was
shit.
stopped then.
I'm pretty sure that. Miyake,
So sassy.
they brought it with them.
Eyebrow raise.
I did some reading.
Mm.
I don't know.
They're-
Someone read things for you.
Shut up!
Olivia
My God.
reads.
Quiet, God. The original victims Pluripotent kept it quiet, but they were all members of the Miyake group. Some people, a group related to some Japanese gang types, mobs. I don't know what the term is. Sorry.
Yakuza.
Yakuza. Thank you.
Sorry, I
I
spent some time over
are you
in San
clearing your
Francisco.
throat at me for a reason, Hanzo?
He only clears his throat the one time, and then he says, "Anyway, I think there was someone else at the crime scene."
Okay, hey, hold on.
Who avoided being gunned down. One of the
Changing the subject, Hanzo.
Do you want to hear what I have to say or not?
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain someone else was at the crime scene but avoided being gunned down, like the kids. You see, one of the biker gang bodies, his name was Woody. He seemed to pursue this person, caught up with them, and tried to wrestle them into submission to avoid killing them. I suspect that this person is the one who leaked the epiphany. Woody actually managed to get a hold of their card, but they were shot dead point blank by a bone bullet.
A bone bullet?
Yes.
That sounds like some superorganism stuff.
It is.
Winifred,
Mm-hmm.
you would know that while they don't distribute them, there are, special weapons that are made for the Rangers to use, or people working down in the superorganism. And one of them that was proposed but never really fielded was a rifle that would fire osteocrete-based rounds. Because metal can sometimes react weirdly in the superorganism if it, punctures the metal or the flesh. But since it's bone, it doesn't really cause that much of a reaction.
She's gonna make a complicated face. Alright. That is pluripotent bullshit, as you put it, Olivia, but they never actually made it.
Clearly someone has.
I mean, like, in the face of the heart golem, that's not all that exciting.
I mean, it's still something.
It's still
Pluripotent's
something that happened, and
Pluripotent's having some bad leaks.
yeah, it's happened. They made it. They tested it. They never fielded it, and now that is leaked along with a bunch of fucking drugs.
So either someone in Pluripotent is putting it out, or someone stole a lot of shit from Pluripotent.
The ID card, it was only partially readable, but it was pluripotent access. So either someone swiped it or someone is working for it as a independent agent.
Yeah, Winifred, you would also know, since you worked there, that the ID and pass cards that they do is everyone has their own personal ID, but then they also have pass cards that are routinely changed, so it's like a 2-card thing. It's just because they always are updating their security things, you have to turn in your old card to get a new one, that kind of thing.
And she's gonna turn and look at everybody and go, well, they have one card that they could steal, but they'd have to continue stealing them because they change them every once in a while to make sure that this doesn't happen. So we're looking for somebody who is either connected to somebody in pluripotent or is in pluripotent.
Precisely. However, the more immediate concern is the Kasha.
Okay. Look, I've seen enough weird shit at this point that I believe you. But why does it go after the bodies of sinners? Is there a method to it? Is it what?
It likes corpses.
It does what it does. one cannot explain why spirit does what it will.
Yeah, right.
If they behaved like animals, it wouldn't be supernatural.
All right. I guess that makes about as much sense as anything.
Yes, because if the body is stolen by Akasha, that person is unable to move on to the afterlife.
Oh, shit, so that person's like trapped in their body?
Well, there's the legend and what we're dealing with, and let's just say I remember frustratingly little about this particular creature.
I don't know if it would help, but I could go do some looking in the library.
I was thinking of heading there for information.
I can probably get deeper than you, no offense, but I am a local.
Eyebrow raise.
I'm a local. I've lived here my
He's
whole
been
life.
living here for years.
And I've lived here my entire life.
Why would that matter in a library, Olivia?
Yeah. Is it because he's Japanese? Is that what this is?
No, can you
my
not?
God.
Can you not?
We're not having this
Yeah.
conversation.
I'm not okay with that one.
That is a genuine question that I am asking. That is, why would that matter in a library? Everybody can look in a library.
Fair point.
I'm going to go hit my private books that you can't read.
Mm-hmm. And your friend Susie Parr.
Mm-hmm.
You think she would be awake at this time? She also seems to know the supernatural and magic.
Probably not, since it's what time is it?
It's probably getting, I've been saying it's kind of late, so yeah, it's probably getting closer to like 10-ish.
It was worth asking if you knew her private number. Her home phone.
I tend to just go there when I need to, or call her business during business hours. Usually for the sake of privacy. You know how some people are. I can try the yellow books.
Well,
see what happens.
You need to read your books. The magic ones.
Yes.
Someone else might be able to check the yellow books. I could probably do it. But that leaves the question of what was the name of the gang boss?
Hanzo.
Oh, that one was, I believe it was Felix. Yes, Felix.
Hanzo.
Hmm?
Is there like a limit to what this thing can do at a time? Because there's a lot of victims, but only one person has died today. And we stopped it from getting one, and it managed to get another.
Like I said, there's frustratingly little that I remember about this particular creature.
Yeah, you were very young when that funeral happened.
Hanzo. The original victims, part of the group that was related to the Yakuza.
Yes.
Is it possible they brought it here and unwittingly let it out?
I don't know.
I mean, like, it comes from your homeland.
Yes.
I don't see how it could just be here.
Yes.
Spirits are weird like that. Boundaries are not tied to human perceptions.
It would not surprise me if creatures of belief would follow the believers.
And actually, I will say, Olivia, since you are kind of the history nerd for the town, since you grew up loving where you grew up.
Yeah, she loves it here.
A lot of the there like a good portion of the founding population for Redemption back when it was I can't remember what the old name was, but
It's weird to be the smart one.
Used to be rejection.
it was there was actually a very large Japanese population
Oh, okay. Actually,
among the founding families.
you know, point. A lot of the founding people of Redemption were Japanese.
Yes.
So this thing could have been around even before the original killings, and either it didn't leave as much of a trace, or it just didn't get out.
Like I said, drawn to the bodies of sinners.
I mean, you say that as if there's not sinners every day. Like, some clearly are consumption worthy, but I feel like if it was free.
So, how's this Hellcat defining the word sinner? Like, I'm guessing it's
That's a
not
good
using
question.
Christian morality. So, like, is it like talking about Buddhist sinners? Like, what qualifies in that?
Just speaking as myself, what is a Buddhist sin?
Like,
Good question.
Wait, I
You
try to
know-
derail my own game.
yeah, you shouldn't.
Could I have another chocolate chip?
Well,
Like, is it just general naughtiness it's going after, or
It would generally prey upon criminals.
if it was raised Jewish, would it think people who eat shrimp are sinners?
I don't know.
you can't just ask somebody, hey, do you think this would be a sinner if it was Jewish? Like, come on, Fred, you know better.
No, I'm asking if it was Jewish, would it think that sinners include anyone who ate shrimp?
You're asking me if
I think
this
if it were
beer.
Jewish, it would run off different rules.
Can I roll weird to see if I have any background knowledge on this? I should have done this like 20 minutes ago, but like
On what? Things have gotten like round and round here, sorry.
can I do a dice roll to see a weird or a use magic to see if I have any background knowledge on this creature?
Sure.
Now that we've been talking about
do
it, the pieces are coming together.
Yeah, I guess it would be depending on if you're trying to recall or actually use magic to force that recall.
I would
depending
like
on
to
which
do a
end you want to
recall information, not a magically open the
yeah,
book.
just
kind
do a weird, since that is related to the weirdness of the world.
with the wonderful stat. That is a 10.
Okay. So, yeah, as you've been talking and like that song playing in your head, it's all kind of like you're remembering some of the stuff you read. Like there was actually like a manual that talked about different yokai and stuff, and the kasha is a spirit that would often attack the funeral processions of criminals or people who had committed crimes in life, people who had been executed. And as Hanzo said, yeah, they would consume the body or puppet it and usually deny it from being able to pass on or dragging it to hell, depending on the story. But sorry, what was your initial question about it?
Oh, it wasn't. It was just I was trying
like
to
general information.
general information. Yeah.
Yeah. They were usually heavily associated with flames and windstorms, and
Flames and sandstorms.
there were also times that they were invoked to enact vengeance on the behalf of someone that was wronged. Usually, someone that was dying would invoke it with their dying breath, kind of thing. And those were the few times that they would actually prey on the living. And stuff like that. They were usually seen as agents of hell going after those who sinned in life by harming others.
Okay. So Carlos has got that look like he's kind of distracted, and it clicks okay, cool. Sorry, had to recall the book that I read that I got back when I was working in San Diego. So one thing we need to probably pay attention to, well, two things. There is a chance that if this thing was sealed, it was potentially freed by the dying person. Usually when they attack in this nature, it's because someone has used their dying breath to seek revenge, and they will prey on anybody that do violent crimes.
That would explain how Soda came into this.
Yes.
I grabbed food. Why would it explain why Soba came into this?
Because there's a good chance beyond zero that the reason he wasn't collected, that he used his dying breath to summon a Hellcat or the Kasha to literally get the bloody murder revenge against those who were killing him.
Oh.
Which would explain why it's killing the gang members.
So he didn't accidentally wake it up. He might have just...
He might have, done a swear on his deathbed, which when you're dealing with the supernatural is a pretty powerful thing to do.
I'll remember that.
Hanzo, I would like you to do a sharp roll for me just real quick.
Sure thing.
As you're trying to remember this funeral that you went to as a child.
That's a 14.
Well, then you would definitely remember that as you've been talking. It's just like you're trying to talk, think back to this, and you remember stuff like your dad talking, telling you about this, and it's kind of remembering more and more. And you remember it was a large procession for someone who had died, very respected person, and there was a lot of traditional aspects to the funeral. It was a very traditional funeral and stuff. And one of the things that was associated the chanting to ward off, malicious yokai like the Baku or the Kasha, was there was someone walking ringing a large bell. And you remember your father saying that specifically helps ward them off. And I will give you that for such a high fucking roll. God damn.
Yeah, I rolled it, I looked at it, it's like, that can't be right. It's like double sixes.
Very nearly the maximum. The highest roll you could get right now. But...
Yeah. If I
think since it's literally a point below the max, it was a very traditional looking ceremonial bell.
I do remember part of the tradition was a bell used in the funeral.
That could be useful.
Yeah, it could be. I might head back to Little Japan, see what I can do.
Well, if you don't mind me tagging along, I'll been swinging by my place. I can grab my book and read while you drive.
Little Japan would mostly be shutting down, especially after the hubbub of what just happened. So I will say you'll probably have to go tomorrow to actually get any reliable investigation there done.
Yeah, that's true.
It is pretty late at night.
However, just because we sleep doesn't mean the Kasha will. It's hunting down Felix.
It seems to be going one target a day, so I don't think there's going to be anyone else dead today.
I just hope that with our actions, it hasn't viewed us as those of a violent crime.
It might.
Yeah, Olivia,
accessories to a crime.
The library's closed right now.
Damn it. I figured it was, but
Do you think maybe we could not kill this monster and instead interrogate it onto where it gets its ideas of morality? Because I'm really interested in that now. How does the
I
Akasha...
don't know if it can talk.
So
Well, if it can figure out what crimes people have committed in terms of whether or not it can eat them and possess their bodies, obviously it's got some level of sapience. Give it a fucking notepad or something. I don't know.
So by violent crimes, usually murder.
Okay, yeah, that's what like books are telling us. But like, what's the Akasha think? Why is the Akasha like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna get those assholes.
You know what? I'll
Yeah,
let
I
you
am-
ask when we catch it.
I am
Yeah.
intrigued on the moral philosophy of this creature. You know.
Creature.
You know, like a werewolf, it's just attacking whoever, or maybe it's like attacking someone personally connected to its human side. If werewolves exist and work according to Lon Chaney rules, I don't know. But like this thing's like, you know, there's gotta be like a moral system that this has to apply to for me to victimize these folks. And I think that's pretty unique. That's something that deserves some interrogation. We should talk to this critter, see what it's thinking.
Oh, yeah,
If we get the
have we
opportunity,
heard
I will
anything
let
about
you
that
ask
tooth
it. Oh, it's a thylacine tooth.
Yeah.
What?
Which is, yeah, the exact way I reacted to that.
We don't have any
Yeah,
thylacines here.
Yeah,
And it's also a werewolf tooth. So somebody had a fun time with a thylacine. Or alternatively, well no, you pulled it out of a dead javelina. There's just probably some weird thylacine running around completely unconnected to all of this.
Shit, I'd be there. I'd be
I
down
don't
to
like
be
the
there.
way you said someone got weird with the thylacine. I just don't
Yeah,
like
I
that.
don't like that.
I'm sorry.
Look,
I mean, those jaws stretch pretty fucking wide.
No.
Look, I'm not saying like that.
I do have a
I'm
road
fatigue,
goat,
so
I'm just
don't kiss
saying.
me.
I'm just saying, up until like yesterday, I didn't think, oh fucking how I'm doing the voice.
Yeah, you're
Fuck off.
catching my accent. You're catching my accent there.
I'm just saying, I had read about them in books, but I'd never really clicked that werewolves were real. And you brought an entire species back from extinction. You stole it from death. When you resurrect things, shit goes sideways when it comes to magic.
Are you saying the thylacines were sinful and the Akasha's targeting them? What crimes did the
No.
thylacine commit?
No, that's not what I'm saying, Fred.
It's going after these sinful thylacines?
It's
Aw,
not going
baby.
after. You're take
Fred,
a breather. You're still feeling the
freaking out a little bit
medicine.
here.
Do you need to
Fred,
crash on
Fred,
my couch?
Oh, baby. Fred,
Is Fred there?
I'm here. What's the
you need to,
question?
like, you're freaking out a little bit. You need to, like, lay down.
I just this thing's making moral judgments on a marsupial wolf now.
No! We don't know that it's related.
I'm saying they're not related at all, bud.
Oh, but I thought you said it was a
Yeah.
crime that they existed, and therefore, we're talking about
No,
crimes
no.
are what allows the Akasha to possess a thing.
No, I was
He was saying-
talking about the fact
saying-
that curses are weird, and sometimes, when you bring things back from the dead and you get into a place like this, thylacines not the weirdest thing to have ever happened in the history of the world.
It just so happens that it's like you resurrected a bunch of normal thylacines, and then you accidentally resurrected the one thylacine.
Oh, so you're thinking the Akasha is targeting the person who resurrected the thylacine because it thinks
No.
you're some sort of
You're
necromancer.
not related.
Go to bed.
Fred.
Go to bed, Fred. Go home, Fred.
Please go to sleep.
I just love Fred's insistence that everything that happens has to be connected somehow.
Is Fred worried that the cat's gonna come after him?
Here's the thing. Fred isn't smart and doesn't track things a lot, so he's trying to. He's like, I'm going to try to be a better sleuth and connect the dots. And he's doing bad at it. Or good?
Until it's disproven otherwise.
All right, so
I'm
it is getting late.
I'm going
So
to
what-
sleep. I'm
Yeah, I
going
could,
home.
I could do with a nap. I think they didn't say I could like die if I nap, right?
No, sleep is probably good for you.
Not like a concussion.
Yeah. No, you just have.
Okay, I'm gonna go sleep. Hopefully, get some of this morphine out of my system. Now, if the guy in tweed comes back again, I tell him no, right? I don't go with him.
Yes.
No,
You don't go with
I-
him.
That's a myth, by the way, Fred. Your sleeping is good after an injury. They just need to make sure your brain, your
Oh, wait.
the sleep
with
isn't the
that,
problem. It's making
kind of,
sure
like-
you're cognizant and everything.
Yeah, just because I keep like trying to interject, I'm just gonna say the vet kind of walked back in, and she goes, "Yeah, it's head wounds that you don't want to fall asleep for. You're good. You should
Okay.
get some sleep,
I'll get some sleep.
but you probably shouldn't drive with what we've given you." So.
Oh, he doesn't have a
Fred,
car. It's
you
fine.
wanna give you-
I do have a car. What the fuck are you on about? What happened to my car?
You didn't drive
It
here in
might
a
still be
car.
at the biker bar.
Listen, I paid $600 for that piece of shit.
That's a lot of.
I need
That's a
it for
lot.
work.
That's
If
a
I-
lot for that piece.
If
of
I
shit.
recall correctly, Carlos, Hanzo, and Fred all rode with him because no one was going to question the jalopy at a biker bar. So your car
Yeah,
is
Fred's
probably
car
back
was
home.
Hanzo showed up in his car, I think. 'Cause he should-
Yeah,
He might have, yes.
and Olivia had hers.
Anyways, but there's Fred. Your car is not lost. We'll just say that you have access to it.
Okay.
They're just saying you probably shouldn't drive.
Fucking scare me like that. I don't have a goddamn car. What the fuck are you talking about? Jesus Christ.
The thylacines took it.
You know how little possessions of material value I have after the divorce?
Oh, no, now we need to get him home.
Yep. Fred's
It's
gonna step
not a
outside
lot.
and see the were thylacine jacking his car.
God,
I need that car.
let's get this poor man home.
I mean, Olivia, you do know there are like places that in the preserve that there are cots if if someone has to stay.
Okay,
overnight.
all right. If everyone calms
You
down for a
also-
second.
I mean, Olivia, you probably don't live that far from the preserve.
No. If everyone was to
You have your
stay
cat.
together for the night, there are some cots, and I don't live too far. I'm going home. But there are cots if people
Are they
don't wanna,
comfy
like,
cots?
They're okay. They're average.
Okay, we're going back to the apartment.
Okay.
I like the futon I got there.
All right. That's fair.
And actually, Fred, you know how previously Tommy went and threatened the owner of where you were staying?
The motel,
about
yes.
about how shitty they was. It took about a week and a half, but eventually you and some other people in the place some other rooms did finally get new fold-out couches.
Aw, wonderful.
So
Job,
Tommy's not
Tommy.
here to hear this, but it actually seemed to get something, it actually worked eventually. It took him a while, but
Good job, Tommy.
He got there in the end. Thank you, Tommy.
Tommy's BRB'd.
This makes up for the hepatitis.
Does
Well,
it?
Tommy can spend the night at the preserve. It's fine. Winifred, are you going home?
I figured I'd stay here and watch the idiot in the other box.
That's
Yeah,
not a
'cause
bad
currently
idea. Yeah.
Itzel's standing guard on him.
Cause I don't sleep right now. You all
Fair.
Yeah,
took my
this is like
sleeping time today.
Oh yeah,
This
don't
is like-
execute that guy. I know we were talking about it, and you really shouldn't.
No one's shooting anybody.
It's still fairly early for you, Winifred.
Yeah, but I mean, I would go to sleep and then wake up pretty much automatically when it goes completely dark. And that would just make me crabby.
Alright. Connor,
Yep.
I don't think you should stay here. You might get put some of that around.
Wow.
Wow.
He pissed her off. She just,
He
she's
just
not happy.
shrugs. He just shrugs at that, just like, he doesn't really care. Heard worse.
I mean, she's not wrong, but
Oh, she's not wrong. He just is past caring. Just shrugs.
I'm going home. You all get home. You all get to where you're going safe. Don't get jumped by Akasha on your way home.
But what about a werethylacine?
I mean, I don't think I'm that sinful, so I think I should be all right. And I wasn't involved in bringing back the werethylacine, so.
If it's a werethylacine, I might be able. That one I might just be able to fucking talk to. So, I don't know if I can talk to the Akasha yet. Anyway.
Oh, I just remembered the term I used for it. Now that you all know about it, thylacanthrope.
The thylacanthrope.
Oh, that's awesome. I'd like to talk to the thylacanthrope, but
Yeah,
awesome.
see what sins it's committed.
Oh God, Fred, you need to get off of that.
All right, but when it's all connected, I'm gonna be real smug.
You might be right. Who knows? This might be a part of this. It might not. We'll see.
We'll see.
If you're right, I'll buy you a drink.
Did you see?
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, you know what? No, you have fun with that. I saw how he drank at the bar. You have fun with that.
You drank at the bar? Never mind. I don't want to know. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
You'll get home safe.
So everyone splits up, goes to bed for Winifred. If you wanted Winifred, you could go hang out and talk to Itzel. But yeah, Texas, when you go check in on him in the safe room that he's been sealed in, he's just seems he, according to Itzel, raged a bit, pouted, and then went to bed.
I'm gonna nod at Itzel and go, I'm going to try to defy all of my nature and go to sleep now, because I have a feeling I'm going to be awake again all day tomorrow.
Oh, and she goes, well, rest in peace.
Get it? Because you're a vampire. You're dead.
And she kind of like chuckles in the way that someone who told a pun does. But she goes, all right, well, rest up. I'll keep an eye on the asshole. She goes, there is like it's like they did wheel in like a little TV for her, so she is like watching TV, so she's not completely bored out of her mind.
If you need me, just, yell. I'm gonna find one of them cots.
Okay. And she just kind of slowly a bottle of new blood.
I'm going to go attempt to go to sleep for at least a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, it's a struggle, but you would be able to. It is kind of like, I just woke up not long ago, and I have to try to sleep again. But just spread out, go home. Connor,
Mm-hmm.
as you got home and were getting ready for bed, the voice comes to you and goes, I hope you see why you should appreciate me. There are those curses like that where they care nothing about those they afflict.
I am grateful you aren't worse.
Damn.
It's very hard to be thankful of something he's lived with every moment of most of his life.
That is
You know
fair.
what's really sad? I didn't realize it was a curse. I thought you just were perpetually sick. Of course, I still think that in character.
Yeah.
It's gonna say fucking Fred the Ninja's clinging to my walls.
Using your brain. Like
Like last time.
everyone else.
It's a well-established fact that everyone has a shoulder, Fred.
Shoulder Fred.
Yeah.
Just like Connor, you hear the voice like, who the hell was that? I thought I was the only one in here.
It's me.
I'm everywhere and nowhere.
I sit there and I judge you.
I am the barrel rider. I am the lucky number.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So, okay, so, yeah, Connor, this thing, it's kind of laugh at that, but then goes quiet. I'll, letting you go to bed if you want.
He
But-
stares at the wall for like another half an hour before finally getting some sleep.
It's weird, like, even if you have, like, the fan going full blast, it's almost like you're sweating like you have a fever, which, I mean, that shouldn't be right. Not with your ability, but it's like, you're just really warm.
Mm.
But
I know.
you eventually get some sleep. So,
What day of the week
so-
is it next day?
I don't remember if I said last time.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna say it's probably like a Thursday. I can't remember really, but
Cool.
I'll say that it's like just coincidentally, Fred and like Connor, you don't really have shifts. Moment. Oh, Fred, normally your shifts are at night, but
Yeah.
you haven't had any.
It's okay. I've got a Ferris Bueller sort of solution to this situation.
What's that?
Well, as you see, in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which isn't that old at this point in time,
Oh, it's fairly recent.
tricky Ferris Bueller rigs a mannequin with a recording of his own voice telling people not to come in because he's feeling ooky. And I just put that in the office where I work. Anyone tries to get in, like they shake the doorknob, it makes the recording go.
So, Fred is telling you this, Olivia. Where have you all met up? Connor's place, or
Why would you meet him at my place?
not Connor's? I meant to say Carlos. Ah, it's the C names again.
No problem. It's kind of funny at this point, actually.
I meant to say the diner. Carlos's diner.
It is a good place for meetups and cherry pie.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say that's a conversation that happens eventually. But since we're starting at Carlos's, Carlos, I'm sure you would check in at the diner.
Oh, I do all the time.
Morning.
Like if I'm not immediately doing something, it's just like I poke in my head and things working well. Great, awesome, bye.
Yeah. So actually, when you do pop in, oh, I can never remember her name. The waitress with the kids.
I don't remember either now. Did I write it down on my character sheet? Did I write it down on my character sheet?
Once we've
No.
been back to the diner.
Oh, Sandy. I thought it was Sandy. Right. No, wait, no, it's Carla. Carla. Sandy's the night shift. or the later shift. Carla's the
Did-
morning.
Did I name Carla and Carlos? Was that
No, that was my accident with random name generators.
fair?
And then I didn't realize that. I think we even had this talk in like the first episode, where it's like, wait a minute,
That's fine.
that's what it sank in. But yeah, Hugo's the chef, and the waitresses Sandy and Carla, but Carla's the one who's the mother of the twins. But you don't see the kids in this morning. But when you pop in, Carla is like, "Oh, Carlos, the person. Hold on, I'm looking.
Gail, you?
Sorry, I have. Yes, Gail. She's here, and she points up, and often one of the booths having breakfast is a trio. Trio of fairly young adults, 2 women and a man. But she goes, "Yeah, you said you wanted to talk to them next time they came in. Yeah, they."
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Carla.
Yeah.
And there's a
And
quiet slipping of a $20 bill, seemingly pulled from nowhere.
Where?
Which, just because it's Carlos, he's fun like that. The staff help him out on work things. He makes sure they're compensated.
You slid her the 20.
Yes, it slid Carla the
Okay.
20. Just like, there you go, and then just make sure you get gas for this week for me. And then just goes over there, approaches the
Right,
table.
and-
It's like, hey, Gail, it's been a minute.
And looking up, hold on, let me see. You see a young woman. She looks probably Chinese at this point. Very punk attire. Her hair's slicked back, not artificially dyed or anything, but she's got like an eyebrow piercing, lip piercing. And she looks up and she goes, "Oh, Carlos, yeah. Carlos said you wanted to talk to me about some kind of tech."
Yeah,
And
I got
sitting with her. Sorry, just to describe the other two.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The man is a young black man, dressed fairly respectfully. Actually, like almost like a button-up, no tie or anything, but he looks like looks like probably just like an office worker, if you had to guess. And then another woman, and you actually know this one a little bit more than Gail or Darius, as you know, Estella. She's actually a local, and she's wearing a shirt that's like for Potent Preserve, like a event they held or something like years back.
Fair enough.
But and Gil's like, "Yeah, oh, you Carla said something. You need me? I needed help with."
I got something I would love for you to take a look at, because you know me and technology always not working. He says, patent the little Walkman that's been known to uncoil on its own.
Now, you keep asking me for IT. I'm going to start having to charge you, of course.
That's absolutely fair in this situation. But he kind of like leans in a little bit.
And she goes, "No, like seriously, my legitimate business is I run IT."
And like Carlos leans in, and it's like, yeah, and this is a little under the books, so no shit, I'm going to make sure you get paid for it.
Gotcha. And the other two are, of course, listening in, but they're just, having their breakfast.
The reason I haven't been in so much is I've been running with the crew on some side business stuff. You know what I mean? Not too under the weather, but we got an interesting situation with a fun little scientist got a computer out of them after they made some funky things in the desert. Now, I am not a computer tech person. My skills are elsewhere. But I got a computer that's allegedly unhackable, and I've heard you say you can. So,
And
if
as
you
you've
got
been saying this, they seem like they all seem very intrigued.
So if you got the time, I've got it out in the back behind the ride, plugged in, powered on, but not hooked up to anything.
Okay, I mean, And she like grabs her coffee mug and like drains the last of it in like one long gulp and puts it down. She's like, "I'm ready to go." And she grabs her like last bit of bacon off her plate.
Okay. Do
And
your and like he looks to you, she's like, "Are they helping you, or is it just you?"
and they kind of laugh, and then Gail goes, "Oh no, they're useless with tech." Or well, Darius is. Estella is. Oh, she's learning, but and like Estella just kind of flips her off as she's drinking her orange juice. But they're like, "No, go ahead. If it's
All
something
right.
interesting, she'll tell us."
Alrighty. Follow me. As I walk out, it's like, "Hey, Carla,
And
if the gang I'm running with shows up, just let them know I'm out back with the at the riding."
okay, and he goes, and actually, Estella, before you walk out, she's like, "Oh, would you mind if we put a stack of our, tabloid out, or a stack of our paper out?" And she like reaches into her backpack, and it's a stack of the Falcon Lake Witness, and it's like, um, the I don't know what the current like tabloid would be,
Well,
or no,
they
actually,
did.
it would be like, uh, missing farm animals and wildlife mutilations. Can it be a new, what new threat has moved into the valley? That kind of thing.
Carlos is gonna take a look at it. It's like, "Sure, just let me take the first copy." He gives a playful little wink and grabs a
Yeah,
copy.
and yeah, and they, they gladly have it. And there's like a little section by the, the where people check in, the cashier, where there's like a stack for newspapers and other
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah, it's the '90s. That makes sense.
And so, yeah, so Gail hands you one of the things, and she'll follow you back to the thing. And depending on who's up earlier, this probably be right around when people would start showing up.
I am an early bird, so
Yeah, so you'd probably be showing up too.
Carlos will call up like, "Morning, Olivia. Just go get some breakfast. We'll be back over in a minute."
all right. Oh, good paper.
Um,
I'd like to grab one of the Falcon Lake. Falcon Lake.
Witness.
What? Witness. Thank you. I'd like to grab a copy
Yeah.
of that Falcon Lake Witness.
Yeah, and it's not a very thick, paper. It looks to be self-published and printed probably, but
Okay.
yeah, it's taught just for a real quick thing. It talks about like local events, but it's actually like some of the stuff you probably hadn't heard about. That it's like, pluripotent truck. Uh, it actually mentions like a pluripotent truck that fell off. Ran into a ditch, and while nothing came of it, they're like, is it corporate espionage? There's a very conspiratorial, supernatural investigative bent to it.
I love it.
Um, kind of the lone gunman from the X Files kind of vibe.
There's exactly what I was hoping it was.
But yeah, it's yeah. So you grab that, and I don't.
Do I see anything?
You and
Sorry.
actually no, Estella was in your graduating class of high school. You're like roughly around the same age.
Oh, so she's the one going to help Carlos.
No, Estella is
No.
the one who stayed back in the diner, but you would recognize her like when you walked in, and you see her eating dinner with someone, not dinner, breakfast.
I wonder.
Breakfast.
I wonder if she recognizes me. Olivia was not out in like high school. It would have been
yeah,
in
maybe
her
not.
college years.
Although you do see her wearing a preserve. Actually, no, she does know you. She does know you because she did work a little bit at the preserve right around the same time you started.
Olivia will give her a wave.
And she like she brightens up and goes, "Oh, hi, Olivia," and she calls out and she just gives a wave.
Hey, been a while. How things going up with you? She picks up the paper and comes over to say hi.
She's like, "That's pretty good, just keeping busy." And
Yeah.
you two catch up, and she introduces, "Oh, this is Darius," and He nods and offers to shake your hand, but sorry, Carlos.
Yes.
So while they're catching up, you and
Hey.
Yell head to. Sorry, what?
I said, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
so
thought you said, "Hey," like I like you wanted to say something. Sorry.
No. I like meeting seeing the people. That's all.
Okay, cool.
So I take Gail to the back of the roadside attraction ride, which is a chaotic space to say the very least. Mostly because there's a poker table set up to boxes of old equipment and repair parts, set up to a workshop, set up to like a staircase that goes up, and sitting on a desk beneath the staircase is the lit up computer. Carlos will close the door behind them and will look Gail in the eyes, and he said, "Gail, shit's fucked, and I need to know what's on that PC." And he hands her like a wad of cash of undetermined
like-
value.
Oh, she's like uses both hands to hold it. She's like, "Well, I'll sort that out. Let me see what I'm working with." And she like puts it down on the desk, and is just like, "Okay." And
To give clarification, Olivia, as who we walked past, me and a handful of others, have been doing our own investigation, like your paper friends. He says, holding the paper up. Except we've been finding things, and the lady who had this PC was stitching hearts together into an abomination thing. And that homeless guy who's been diving in the dumpster knew more than I did, and I don't like that. So I'm hoping you can get in the computer so I can know a little more, so I can maybe catch up with the homeless guy behind the dumpster. And I wish that was a joke. There was a literal train of hearts 10 feet long.
Wow. I mean, I'm so glad you came to me for this. I mean, like,
And I got to go McCready on its ass.
and she goes, "Oh wow, so
Is the thing out by this point?
what?"
Is the thing out by this point? Sorry.
Yeah, it was an 80s
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Granted,
that was cool.
I don't know if it had its cult classic status yet at this point.
I'm now
It would be
saying that
building
Olivia is one of
because
the
it was
people.
released in '84, and that's when
Okay.
that's like completely just disfranchised Carpenter.
Oh, I'm gonna say Olivia's one of those early people who jumped on.
Yeah, the thing got sniped by fucking ET.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean,
Sorry.
just if you look at the year, like, there's a reason there's a documentary called "The Year of '84," because if you look at how many like classic sci-fi and stuff, bunch of movies released in '84, so kind of overwhelming when you actually look at it. But anyways, I keep tangenting my own game, damn it.
Now you know how I feel.
Yeah, it's the problem with being a DM with ADHD. Anyways,
Mood.
So she's like, "Carlos, it's completely platonically because I'm already in a relationship with them, but I love you right now."
I understand
She's
entirely.
She's
Bye,
like, she
Polly.
looks at, she like looks at she like bends down to look at the thing, and she's like looking at it, like, "Oh, this is definitely neurosynth." I think that was the term I used.
Yeah, Neurosynth was the one you
wait.
did.
I think I have it under something.
I do believe Neurosynth was the correct one.
Yeah.
We found it after we investigated and made sure she wasn't making any more heart homunculi, I believe is the technical term.
Heart monkey.
So this is tied to the organ thief killings about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's tied to the organ thief killings a couple of weeks ago. So she's been apprehended and is being dealt with, as far as I know. What that means when we have a giant corporate overlord hanging over our heads, I don't know. But there's some ties to pluripotent more than just the computer, I think. And
I mean, if not pluripotent, maybe even something else. Maybe a rival corporation.
Could be rival corporation, foreign interests. I believe the lady we interfered and stopped from being both creating more heart monsters and being consumed by her own heart monster homunculi was Russian, German, one of the two. I haven't been over to Europe in a hot minute.
Wait, maybe Ukrainian? Like from Chernobyl? Perhaps? Like, did you
Ukrainian?
mention Chernobyl at all?
I don't think this is going to tie to Chernobyl at all, but
I mean,
could be.
God.
we don't know what caused Chernobyl.
Oh my God.
I mean, we don't know exactly. And
Oh.
you get the, it's like she gets that like that glint in her eye where it's just like she wants to talk about some conspiracy theory, but she just like looks back to the computer and she's like, I mean, I won't be able to do anything here. I can take it back to my place and my research lab, and I call it a research lab. It's a trailer where I keep my stuff, but they like to make.
Trust me, I understand. This is home. Slapping the staircase. I get it.
And she goes, I mean, if you'll let me, I would love to take a crack at this.
I couldn't think of anyone better.
I'll take the money, but honestly, if you approach me without even shoving that in, I would be doing this pro bono. But since you already gave it, and she like scoots it closer, we do have bills.
Hey, look, I know, as someone who spent years on the road, what that little bit of money can mean to you. I'll make this back in a week or two. I'm not too worried about it. Hell, I'll probably make it back on Tuesday night. Let's be real.
And she chuckles as she like gathers it up. She goes, so once they're done, we'll bring the car around, load it up, since we got to make sure we get this plugged in quickly. But oh man, and she just like, she seems very. You just gave her probably her next big project for the next however long it's going to take. She goes,
Yeah.
There are very few people who have been able to hack these, but I think I might be able to.
I heard a rumor you might be able to. Figured if there was anyone I could trust with it right now, it'd be you. Well, just promise me one thing. Before you get it published in your paper, whatever information you find, you come to me first. I don't want you getting in trouble because you accidentally found out, Soviet secrets.
I mean, you'd be surprised about what we know and what we haven't released just for that reasoning.
Yes. So just just let me know what you get before you start publishing it in the paper. That's all I ask.
Of course. And she like stands up, pats it, and she goes, "Oh, I better go tell them to hurry up and finish eating because I am." Thank you, Carlos. And she's not sure she should give you a handshake just because she's like worried about her image as an anarchist punk. And she goes, "Thanks, bud." And she like turns and
she can shake my hand. You remember what Carlos looks like, right? The dude's
yeah,
like
that's true.
like here. I'm gonna post a
Oh,
picture.
I remember. He's almost as colorful as Fred or Winifred.
He's probably like, it's no worries. I know I'm the old man in the situation. You're fine. He says at like 28.
And she goes, "All right." And she does shake her hand, and she goes, "All right, so now, what could you tell me about this? You said it was a scientist that."
It was a scientist of some sort who's being paid by somebody, which initially believed was not to be pluripotent, was working on resuscitating hearts into living homunculi things. Now, Tommy, the homeless guy who keeps eating in my dumpster when I told him he can just come inside and get a normal plate of food, seems to have more knowledge on what exactly she was creating. All I know is that I fought a chain of hearts longer than I am tall that tried to take my heart. And that she was making them in her weird basement out in the desert. Which, I mean, if you're going to do that, there's a lot worse places than out in the desert. It could have been like in the middle of downtown, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it had been taking the hearts out of with the heart murders. It was literally taking the hearts out of their body and adding to its own mass, which is. Do you ever see that like weird movie by John Carpenter called The Thing? It felt like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that kind of, but just hearts.
Jeez. Okay then.
Yeah, it's
That's
probably more than you wanted
nightmarish.
to know. Probably more than you wanted to know.
I mean,
Um,
I'm going to be cracking up on our computer, so I guess it's good that you like braced me for that. So
yeah, it's one of those. She seemed to be very cold and clinical, and what we got out of the computer from when it was active and we pulled it off site was that
oh, you
was
did
pretty
get
much
the
surface level
simulacra,
stuff.
I think.
What was
wait.
it?
I can't remember. It was either Tommy who mentioned it, or it was on the computer where simulacra was mentioned.
Simulacra was mentioned at some point, either by Tommy or
Because that would make so much sense then. They were originally a legitimate corporation that, well, had to go not legitimate. Tommy? No.
That wasn't terrifying.
It was hilarious. Like
God.
hilarious and ominous. Just like
because Simulacra was once a legitimate company that rose up, that was established not long after pluripotent, trying to, study the superorganism as well, and biotechnology. But I'll have to double check, or it might have spawned off of pluripotent, like people left pluripotent and founded it themselves. But Simulacra was actually disbanded or broken up after they were caught doing some serious corporate espionage, stealing from pluripotent. But there's still rumors that out there funding research and doing all kinds of weird shit, and some of the more messed up biotechnology applications you find abroad can be tied to them, supposedly, according to some of the research we've done.
it would not surprise me in the slightest, given the fact that given what I saw, she did seem to have somebody that was over her as well. We didn't get a name or
I mean, a
people or
single
anything.
person, unless they're rich and inherited something, they wouldn't be running something themselves. They'd have funding.
Yes.
There's always someone funding these people.
Yes. Though, to be fair, it was in a dusty basement of an old cabin out in the desert.
I always wondered, do they find these abandoned buildings to dig underneath to build their secret bases, or do they build their base and then build a building that just looks like shit on top? It's been a debate we've had.
From what I've seen in my travels, it depends. A lot of places here, especially in this area, will have just old buildings will just have basements in general because it helped to preserve food back during the cowboy days a lot better. Keep things out of the heat. And it's not hard to reconvert an old dugout, root cellar into a nice little working space. Luckily, my working space is just a mad ride outside. So you should go on it again sometime soon. I added some new things.
Once I gather up the courage to go again.
I took the guy screaming from the ceiling out ages ago. He's no longer there.
She laughs at that. She goes, "Well, this is gonna be big, Carlos. Like, you've just given me the computer of a legit mad scientist. I am so giddy. It's weird seeing this person who looks like she should be like a heavy punk, just looking so, like she said, giddy."
Yes. No, I knew it was important, but I knew that if I touched it, I would break it.
Oh, so. Yes, it would probably spit. I probably spit the some of the acids at you just on accident and probably burn off your skin.
Knowing my luck with technology, that's about right. The only thing I've ever seen to make work is the old gals out there, and work is a questionable statement.
Yeah, that's what I meant more about my courage.
Fair.
But so she's very happy about this. So the two of you go back to the diner. What is it? Have the rest of the group been showing up, or
They come back out, or like when it's Olivia is still talking to the Estelle, right?
Estella?
Estella, and it's like, and then she like got her arms under their armpits and suplexed them right into the ring.
And Estella is very, she's like, "Oh, it was great, right?" And she's talking about it while Darius just looks mildly lost. They're talking luchador, right? The luchador wrestling. Yeah, which is fairly popular in Redemption. There's like a minor. I'm not gonna say it's like minor air quotes because I don't know how to describe it. It's like minor league wrestling.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of luchador people.
There's a
Maybe like
local
local wrestling or local local
Okay.
league. Yeah, circuit.
Yeah, local circuit. That's the term.
Yeah. It was
But-
great.
So anyone else understand by then? You think? You okay there, Shady?
Yeah, I just got BRB again.
Oh,
I'm missing so much of Tommy.
I know.
It happens.
So, yeah, if people wanted to say they showed up by this point, you could, or unless you had other things you wanted to do, other leads to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Winifred shows up, and she's got like a horribly garish scarf wrapped around the entirety of her head, along with her horrible garish umbrella that she carries around everywhere.
Oh, because it's the daylight, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Winifred, how you holding up?
The only thing you can see are her eyes, and she just kind of looks at you, and it looks like she's been hungover for 20 years.
Oh.
I feel sizzled.
Sorry.
As Carlos comes back in, he sees the garish scarf wrapped around a head and just quietly goes back behind the counter, reaches in, grabs the good blood, comes around, puts it down in front of Winnie.
This is the shit that has, like, I almost said cocaine, but that's not what I want. Caffeine! Caffeine in it.
Yeah, it's the
difference.
it's the coffee.
It's the 90s,
It's
not
like
the
a mixed
80s.
coffee.
Yeah, Coca-Cola isn't Coke anymore, so yeah, caffeine blood.
Yeah, it's like an almost like an iced coffee mixed drink with it.
That only a vampire would like.
Yep, just puts it down in front of her. It's like, you look like you need this, and I can only see your eyes.
I'm just imagining with the straw, it just disappears in between the folds of the scarf.
Yeah, basically. She just takes out her bitch straw and just. You can't see it go into her mouth, but it must be because you could see it disappearing.
So, Connor, Fred, did you show up too?
Yeah.
Connor probably slipped in when people weren't really paying attention. Just sat at a table somewhere and ordered the usual jalapeno nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, so probably everyone's like getting their breakfast. Fred, this is usually where you get yours. So after a while, you realize, as you come back, Carlos, you're like, oh, everyone but Hanzo's here.
Oh, hey, everybody's here except Hanzo. That sounds about right. He's probably busy doing something.
Yeah, I guess.
And Gail, she walks up and rejoins the table, and she goes, "Oh, hi, Olivia, right? You've
Yeah,
met
that's-
briefly before."
Yeah, that's me. We went to college together.
Nice. And she goes, and while being polite, she immediately turns to the other two, and she goes, "So hurry up and eat. Carlos just dropped a big project on us, and you're gonna love it." And
sure,
they
did he-
just kind of look curiously.
What
And
kind of
they
project
were close
did
to
he give you?
finishing. What's that?
What kind of project did he give you?
A fun one. And he's just like, a fun one from one of our
She kinda
escapades.
glances. Oh, okay. And she kind of leans up. She goes, "Neurosynth." He got us the Neurosynth hard drive to hack, and they both kind of like go wide-eyed, and Darius whistles and goes, "Oh, that's big."
Yeah, you guys have fun with that then.
Yeah, I caught her up. I caught her up to speed on that incident.
And
Just so you
Gail's
had
just
that
grinning.
up.
Oh yeah, well, you definitely need to make sure you catch her matches, Stella. It's really fun.
And she goes, "Oh, of course." And Gail just she kind of rolls her eyes, but she chuckles. She goes, "Wrestling again?" And Estella just kind
Luchador.
of like, right. And actually, Estella she says that at the same time as you do, that you both go luchador, and Gail's just like holds up her hands in defense. She's like, "All right, luchador, I like it too." Just and Estella, she's just like, and they kind of just like start ribbing each other as they like
Aw.
finish up the last of their food, and they pay their check, but so Carlos,
Yes.
yeah, they go. She goes, "So we'll just pull her around back and go grab that, right?"
Yep. I left the door unlocked for you. Just make sure it's locked when you close it. I'm not worried about people.
And-
I'm not worried about people breaking into it. But there was that one time with that very persistent javelina running around the ride, and I'm not dealing with that again.
Fair. Although I wouldn't be sure about that, as it's actually a stud. She's like says, "You would be surprised how many rides have to have dedicated security, like amusement parks have to have dedicated security just to keep people from having sex in the rides
What?
for the attractions." And they're like,
You think that isn't part of the fun?
and so I was like, "Ew, okay, let's go." As Darius is laughing, Gail's laughing. But they go, and they'll they gather the computer and they head off.
You think they can handle that?
Oh yeah, no. If there's anyone that can handle it that I trust, it's Gail.
All right. Well,
She seemed really receptive when I mentioned the heart homunculi.
oh, you told her about the heart homunculi?
She's going to find out if she gets in, and I didn't want her to just stumble upon that and have them try to find me mid fighting the thing we're fighting.
All right.
Also, she's a conspiracy theorist. They eat that shit up.
All right. Fair, I guess.
I'm paying
Yeah,
her half her rates because she's excited. She didn't even count the money.
Aww.
She did not.
Carlos, what the fuck?
Well, told her I was gonna this is just to take a look at it to see if she could do anything, and then she went, "I'll do this for free, but since you already put the money down, I was gonna."
Fucking, how much do you owe her?
I don't know her rates.
I
I had dropped $180,
And that's half.
which in 93 is a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, but she's breaking into something pretty fucking high tech.
It's fine. I think she was so enthusiastic. If I hadn't put down the money, she would have said yes anyway. Look, I'll tip her at the end. It's fine. It's all under the table anyway because this is all technically highly illegal. Have you seen
Yeah,
half
but-
of the shit that? Have you seen half the shit that Player Potent makes you sign to get one of those things?
Good lord, I can't even fucking imagine. Do we have anything like
Yeah.
that? Any of those at the preserve?
From oh, maybe you're not sure.
Okay.
I mean, there's probably a chance since you do know that Lucia has, especially now, has some pretty deep ties to Player Potent, especially after the last session's revelation. But so now that you think about it, there might be a chance she has some. You've just never really noticed yourself.
Yeah.
You're more of the animal side rather than the research side.
Yeah, I'm more of a field worker. That's not the word I want.
Field agent.
Field agent.
Field
Thank
agent. That's a good thing. That's kind of what Hanzo's job description is too.
you. Yeah.
But
It's almost like there's some parallels between these two.
That she would hate for anyone to point out.
Absolutely.
So, actually, speaking of Hanzo, while everyone's having their breakfast and or blood, Hanzo, you said you actually got up pretty early to go somewhere. Where was that? We're going back a little bit in time.
Yeah, he got up early to find just any place where he could find a traditional bell, one of the small shops in little Japan.
Okay. You know what? Just for the fun of it, investigate a mystery.
Hell yeah.
I haven't asked for many rolls this session.
8.
That's fair.
8. So okay, it takes a while, but it's fairly bustling early in the morning. But you're fairly acquainted with it. But there is one little shop. It's kind of a tourist trap looking thing from the outside, but when you go in, it is actually like legitimate, heirlooms and stuff from Japan, like actual stuff. And you haven't really gone in there maybe once, not really having much reason to go there, but there's an older man there, and he kind of looks up where he's writing in like a little record book or whatever, business ledger. He looks up and goes, "Can I help you?"
Yes, I'm looking for a funeral bell.
Funeral bell. I'm sorry. My condolences.
Yes.
And he closes the ledger and starts looking around and goes, "We have something that should be appropriate." And there is a fairly small. It's not nowhere near as big or extravagant as the big funerary procession one that you saw as a kid, but does look like a smaller one that you have seen in other, more modest funerals that you've attended throughout your life.
Yes, this one will do nicely, thank you.
Because, right, I'm sorry to pry, but is it related to the Karatas?
Yes.
That's tragedy. One brother dead and the other missing. It's.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at you and he goes, "Were you family?"
No, but I tried to mourn anyone of our community.
Good.
Aw.
And he, he'll take it and bring it up front. And It's one of those bells where there isn't a clapper in front or in the middle, where it's or a tongue.
Mhm.
It comes with a metal small little hammer,
Thank you.
and so he'll ring you up, and it's fairly, it's it's a good, I wouldn't say extravagantly priced, but it is probably more than you were expecting to spend this morning. But
Yep.
he does he does knock off a bit from the price tag, just probably because of what it's for. And
you.
he goes, those boys were always running around, and they'd sometimes come in here, looking at things. They were, and he just kind of seems a little morose because it's fairly tight knit here. There is a decent population, populace here in little Japan, but even though you're kind of on the outskirts of it, people do, try to be involved with other people there.
Yes.
But
Well, let their memories be blessings to us.
quite. And what's that?
Oh, it's just odd.
Yeah. And he goes, of course. And he goes, well, give my regards to the family. And
Thank you.
I don't have a name for this character yet, but you have attained Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Bell attained.
Da 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 da.
And what else did you want to do?
I'm not sure. I only planned this far.
This would be like, I'd say, okay, I'd say you could probably show up at the diner if that's where you wanted to go to meet up with people, but it'd probably be right around when people are getting ready to split up or discussing where to go. Which, speaking of, where do y'all want to go now? What's the next plan? Because you would see everyone has kind of. I'll just say, Hanzo, you okay with going to the diner?
Yep.
Okay, so I'd say you walk in and you see everyone's kind of scattered about the diner. You see both Freds at the little counter where they normally sit. Connor off on his own. But yeah, so you see everyone there. And what do y'all want to do next? As you kind of gather and.
Well, first of all, I feel like we should get like a way to communicate with each other when we're not near a source.
That's gonna be interesting.
I mean,
I don't have one.
Walkie-talkies, man.
They got a range of like maybe 300 feet.
I mean, it's better than nothing.
Kind of fun having a walkie-talkie. It makes me feel like I'm 15 again.
Well, I'd say probably like the walkie-talkies that you have, Olivia, have like a range of a mile or two, because these are the kind of more heavy-duty ones.
Yeah, but I don't know if I could get that for everybody.
These are the kind of walkie-talkies they visually edited into the agent's hands in ET.
Oh. Yeah. But could I get those? I don't know if I could get those for everybody.
Roll
though.
preparedness.
Oh yeah, I have that.
A thing.
The specific ability about procuring supplies.
Goodness, what is my preparedness? It's A sharp, I think. That is a sharp.
Still no Tommy.
A 10, which means I got it.
Nice. So,
You
yeah,
have it.
you probably
You have it here right now.
yeah you thought about this ahead and brought them with you when you
Okay.
swung back
Well, yeah.
up the grove in the
You
morning.
see about that range limit, Carlos. Mine don't. She pulled out one of the radios. These got quite a bit more range on them.
That thing's a brick.
It still won't cover like across town, but it will still give you a bit more of range.
Yeah, it's got
I
about a
thought, like-
mile or two in it. Mile good, bit over that. It's kind of wobbly. Yeah, it's a brick, but like, fuck. Worst case scenario, you hit someone over the head with it. It'd probably hurt.
Backup weapon.
Backup weapon.
Bludgeon.
Technological brick.
I mean, old technology was built tough.
Tommy,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
are you? Okay.
Here,
so-
she gives one to Carlos.
Fucking, this thing's like a brick.
Yeah, you said that already.
Yeah, but like, it's a brick.
They stoned Jesus to death with these.
If they had to thrown these up Jesus, he wouldn't come back in 3 days.
Oh my god. Connor.
I didn't say it.
I know, Connor.
Your spirit did. Your friend.
No, I'm trying to get his attention.
Just go like, yeah.
Got a radio. Keep in contact is better.
Thanks.
Here.
He will take it.
Yeah, I don't know. Better Fred? You need one? Do you have any?
I don't think I would. At least not one that would connect to any of your frequencies, so...
I mean, the frequency, you can turn any radio to any frequency.
Yeah. But there
You just
are
need
some,
the right one.
There's some, like, that only turn to a certain frequency, and you're not supposed to use it as a civilian.
Fair. Here, radio. This is the frequency.
Alright.
Fred.
Yeah? Yeah?
I need you to
Edward.
promise me something.
Okay.
Do not make me regret this.
Yeah, I will make you regret whatever you're asking about. Why would I try to make you
I have
regret?
a radio that you can use to call us if you need us. Like, we can use to communicate.
Okay, so what is the bad case scenario you're imagining of me having a radio?
I don't know.
So it's just a general lack of trust in my competency.
I mean,
The bell of the door jangles as Tommy walks in.
yay. I mean, it's not a lack of trust. You know, you know, it's worrying about shenanigans. You have managed to get to shenanigans repeatedly.
Oh, okay. I don't really feel a lot of those were initiated by me, but I get your point. I will try not to get into a shenanigans with this radio you are entrusting me with.
And
I'll
hey,
try to be a good little boy and follow directions.
And if it happens, you know, you can call for help now.
But I won't, because that would be abusing the radio.
Oh my god. No, this is why I'm giving you this radio, is so we can talk to each other and you can call for help if you need it. I think I started. Here you go. This is the this is the frequency.
Okay, I
Please
got it.
Cool. And hey, back
Okay,
up.
let's roll sharp to see whether Fred remembers that after this conversation is over.
Oh no, I set it to the frequency. It's on it.
Okay, so Fred rolled a 4. So I hope it stays on that, because he's not going to remember what it was.
It will be that unless you change it.
So,
Let's go catch this Kasha. The new episode of Dinosaurs is on tonight, and I want to catch it.
dinosaur.
Oh,
I'm in mood.
hey,
I watched
Tommy.
that show so much when I was a kid.
Yeah. Tommy?
Huh?
Got a radio if you need it?
Nah,
Help us
I'm
keep
good.
in better contact.
Nah, I'm fine. Thank you, though.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, are you sure?
Yeah.
I mean, all right. Hanzo, do you have a radio?
Has Hanzo showed up yet?
Yes, you
Yeah. I do not have a radio, no.
Here, this is the frequency you use to contact me,
Understood.
and I guess to preserve if you need to, but you know. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Also, Tommy, these are thick enough that you could use it as a brick in case of emergency.
You act like I don't have a brick I use in case of emergencies. And to demonstrate this, he reaches into his bundle and pulls out a literal brick.
I wanted
Maybe suspiciously stained.
I wanted you to pull out a brick and then a glass case with another brick in it that says "break in case of emergencies."
That's more Drake's thing than Tommy's.
Yeah. That's definitely something Drake would do.
Nah, you done it. I gotta go get my special brick. This is gonna poke a fault you.
All I know is brick throwing and frog being.
This is a special rock. It'll make you evolve.
To ghost type.
Which is especially menacing coming from Drake, of all people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So where exactly are we going today? I know some of us wanted to go to the library.
Excuse me.
Is there any other places that we want to check out? And she's saying
Just a
this
moment.
muffled through an entire sheet wrapped around her face.
Let's see.
I've procured the bell.
That's what you need to take care of the Kasha.
I
Yes.
was going to read a book last night. Then I got back and I fell asleep on the couch behind the amusement attraction. So
Yeah, I'd like to go to the.
Go where?
I'd like to go to the library.
Okay.
I got distracted by TT.
You're welcome.
I'm going to visit Perry, Susie. Blech.
I'm gonna just wander off.
hey, Fred, you want to come play some cards over at my place?
Do I?
Wait, why are you playing cards? Oh, right, because you're going to go look at yearbooks.
Yes. Anyone else is welcome to play cards, I suppose. I got a decent card table. I mean, Winnie's already aware of the card table.
Winifred's gonna turn to Hanzo and go, is there any, like, special shit we have to do for your bell to work?
That's what I'm going to investigate.
Do you need help doing that?
Probably not.
Right. I guess I'm going to the library with Olivia. If I'm awake this early, I'm going to be doing something productive.
I mean, you could totally just be smearing, losing against Fred in cards.
That's mean.
It would be.
You're not wrong.
It'd be the great irony if Fred is actually like a fucking genius with cards.
Card shark Fred.
I feel like if it's euchre, he would be. Or like Egyptian rat screw, but I don't think he's very good with poker.
He definitely don't got no poker face.
Probably all right with blackjack, but man, you get him in euchre. It's a fucking shark.
He's second to none.
Your ass card game. Never even played euchre. I've only heard it mentioned in a joking fashion.
I live in Michigan, so I have played euchre. I hate card games, so I don't remember it very well, but I played it a lot.
Hi, I'm an Eagle Scout from the Midwest. I'm a monster when it comes to euchre. We're now going to go to AMA, those who are going, and we are going to play a game of euchre.
I know about euchre from my cousins in Nebraska.
I don't even
See,
know what the fuck that is.
See, I learned about it from my grandparents.
At this
you
point,
live in
I'm now
Michigan.
almost legally obligated.
The card games I played were War and Go Fish, so...
Yeah. Those are two very human activities.
And War is only because my sister would have an excuse to slap me.
Yeah.
That's the only reason anyone plays War.
Oh, that sounds pretty compelling. I would like to slap some people.
Joke's on her, I was better at it.
Oh. Tommy's splitting up.
He is going
Yeah,
back
where's Tommy going?
to the drain system to find the aquifers.
The aquifers?
What's an aquifer?
What was that picture you linked me and said Tommy hadn't found yet?
Oh. Tommy hasn't heard about these yet. The redemption cisterns. The flood cisterns.
He's going to explore the drain system, see what he finds.
Tommy, I need you to play cards with Fred while I read a book.
No, you're the one who said you're going to play cards with him. I'll watch.
See, all I can imagine now is a little kid loses their paper boat and Tommy emerges from the sewer grate.
And just chucks it at him like, keep your trash out of my sewer.
Eat it, kid.
I had to beat up this clown for it. It's mine.
Who the fuck plays with paper boats?
We're in Arizona. Go inside. We don't know how to drive in rain.
Oh, I mean, it's so true.
He came right after you. Holy shit.
No, I know how to drive in rain because I've had to drive so much, and I actually like driving when it's raining because it's so different from normal Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very pretty when it's like rainy and stuff. But oh my god, I can only do it at night when there are less people on the roads because seriously, if it starts raining, people are like, oh god, what am I doing? What's going on?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter how good a driver you are, it matters how bad a driver everyone else is.
Precisely.
Mhm.
You would think with how much it rains in Washington, people would be better at driving in the rain.
No. No, they never are.
Yeah, people here in Texas, when it rains, the fucking drivers lose their minds.
Okay, so library group is Olivia and Winifred. Carlos is staying to go through his books,
Yes.
and while Tommy and Fred stay there. Where's Hanzo going?
I'm going to Sue's part.
Oh, and where's Connor going?
I have no idea.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep forgetting about dear old Connor.
No, it's fine.
Who could forget dear old rat boy?
It's because Connor drags his feet and doesn't know what the fuck he's doing either.
Dear old flu boy.
It's fine. He doesn't know what he's doing either.
Yeah.
He just
So
kind
yeah,
of
you have your choice of who you want to go with.
glances at Hanzo and just goes, "Do you need to tag along?"
I don't need to, but if you'll insist.
With that attitude. With that attitude, I'm certainly going.
Fair enough.
Spite.
Okay, who do we want to go with first? Who wants to go first?
I'll do it.
Okay, so Winifred, you get in Olivia's truck, and you guys go off to the library. And
So, Winifred,
Eh,
I know you work for them, you know, you need money, whatever, but, like, how do you feel about their potent?
She's silent for a second and then looks at her and goes, "You know, that's really complicated.
I'm sure.
You also know that without pluripotent, I would be eating you right now, right?"
I mean, no, I get it. Between you and me, they've done some stuff that's helped me as well. I get
Don't
that there's
like...
been good shit derived from it, but
There are people in the organization that are bad, and there are people in the organization that are good. It's just like any other business. It's just the unfortunate reality that a lot of the bad is on top.
yeah.
Not in the fun way either.
TT!
No, you're not here. You have no power here.
it's the backseat Fred.
Fred exists wherever jokes are made.
He really is becoming the Drake of this.
Yeah.
Just without the actual teleportation.
Yet.
We just are all developing his
At some point, we're gonna, like, maybe towards the end of whatever you've got worked here, Fred will become like this multiversal being who exists in Echo.
Oh my god!
Oh god, I just had a thought, TT.
Yeah.
What if Fred is what Waffle Satan was before?
I'm not gonna make Fred Waffle Satan. I'm not allowing that.
Don't authorize that chicanery.
And with
okay.
its utterance, Waffle Satan exists.
Also,
yet
I don't
another-
think Fred needs to be. I don't think Fred should become anything powerful. I like the idea that, like, if there is some supernatural fate for him, it's something cosmically horrifying, like his consciousness is shattered and exists as but a whisper in people's ears spread across the years of the past, unable to prevent his demise.
Jesus.
That's what I'm imagining here, that these are the echoes of whatever horrible fate befalls Fred that finally ends his life, traveling backwards like in Lake Mungo.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Okay, so...
Does Fred get Lake Mungoed? We'll find out.
Okay, anyway.
That might be a reason I have to go watch it now.
It's a good movie.
So she kind of looks at you and you know, it's kind of a hard stare. you're not sure if it's because she's trying to make a point and is making sure that you understand that she's very serious, or if she's still hungover.
Oh.
She goes, usually the people that are, working for pluripotent in the way I am, or the way or the way Hanzo is. Specifically, she says Hanzo very hard.
Luigi goes, "Eh."
They are doing their best to help people in any way they can.
I will pretend I did not hear that.
Yeah, sorry. I have a headache myself, so I am trying to be, I'm trying to remember names, but they're slipping away.
Oh no, it's fine. Olivia's like,
pretend
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
I know that some people like you are just trying to get by. I know. My problem isn't with you, it's with the shady shit.
Wow, Nora. Wow, Olivia. Wow.
Do you not have a problem with the bad stuff?
That was shady as a player.
Oh.
Just shady shit.
Yeah, not shady, the shady shit.
She's gonna...
Important
Oh,
distinction.
I get it now.
Okay, it too.
It took a second. Just like
Like,
She's gonna look at you and go, I understand that you're not cool with the shady shit. Nobody is cool with the shady shit in a giant corporation. But if you're antagonizing the people that work there that are just trying to be good, they're going to just give up. Because no matter what they do, their name is just going to be synonymous with horrible in your brain, no matter how they try to help people.
Olivia. Wait a minute, I'm Olivia.
You're Olivia!
Oh, no, it's
I
ready.
know. Winifred, I know there's plenty of people who work there that are not trying to hurt people and are trying to help people. I don't doubt that. I know you're a good person. You've been a presence in town my entire life.
You have to let other people be that, though. And she's
I
like,
know. That's not my problem. I don't know if I trust Hanzo because I don't know who the fuck Hanzo is.
and that's my point, Olivia. He's trying so hard and getting nothing but scorn.
I hear you.
Just
All
give
right,
him
all
a
right.
break.
All right, okay, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I've been kind of harsh on him. You're right.
And if he turns out to be shady, I could just take him back in the woods and kill him.
Whoa.
That's
Winifred.
not
Whoa.
shady. That's PZ.
Yeah, because he's a changeling. I can't say I expected that. Winifred. I'm not gonna lie.
You should.
I mean,
I'm
fair,
very old and
alright.
pluripotent is very new.
Oh, damn. Damn.
She just wants you to remember that you are in a car with an old predator that goes after your kind specifically.
Her face only frowns a little.
Yeah, just have to keep in mind, it's like, oh yeah, I'm in the car with an apex predator.
Yeah. She like side-eyes you.
I'm not going to. Because I don't
They just
have
happen to play
anymore.
Final Fantasy.
So, like,
And just before you freak out, no, I've never actually killed anybody.
all right, hey, no, I no judging if you had to. I get it. You know, you had to do what you had to do to survive.
I'm just, making a point.
Yeah, all right, your
And-
point's made.
As if to provide a bailout for Olivia. You okay there, Tommy?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. You pull up to the library.
Alright, well, okay, they get to the library, and Parks turns off the car. Can I ask you something less serious? I guess.
Probably be a good thing to do after that conversation, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember me when I was younger?
Yeah.
Like, I know I saw you and I heard about you because you were the weird woman who was just there all the time.
Yeah, I remember you as a kid.
Ah. Shit. Alright.
What about it?
Well, not everybody knows, and I prefer to say it that way.
Have I said anything?
No, I was just, I didn't know if you knew.
She's gonna turn and look at you again, serious, but in a different way. It's like, it's none of my business, and if you don't want anybody else to be in your business, I'm not gonna bring it up.
I appreciate that. I think Connor might got a thought about it. I don't know.
Connor won't bring it up either.
I don't know. I'm not well.
Connor barely gives a shit about what he's eating for breakfast as long as it's lava hot.
Yeah.
I'm undead
Like-
and I can tell that's spicy.
So like he's like, that's some like magic curse shit, right?
She shrugs and goes, he's never not been sick.
Yeah. All right.
I haven't asked him directly because it's rude. He might just be fucking sick.
Yeah, but like I asked him about it, and he's like robotically replied really weird. What was it he said? He said, my constitution is not compromised. I do not have that disorder. It was weird.
Well, I mean,
Like,
it's also,
hasn't killed him, so that's better than, Takasha.
it's possibly a curse. He's also probably just annoyed that people keep asking him why he's so sick and he can't explain it.
That's valid.
And I mean,
Uh,
we
hey,
don't
let's
know
go,
him.
let's go look at some books.
We also don't know him that well, so give him some time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. I've been harsh on some of them.
She shrugs again and goes, I mean, before Pluripotent came, and if you'd asked me any of these things, you might have disappeared.
Yeah. You might. I mean, I would have disappeared even without that, but for entirely different reasons.
Yeah.
So,
Let's go read some books.
Yeah.
yeah. So, going in, we'll jump to someone else real quick, but
Okay.
since we're getting closer to the end, like 20 minutes
Yeah.
till end time.
Yeah.
But like outside the library, there's just like seems like a very nice library. Outside there's a statue decoration where it's a big saguaro cactus made out of copper, and it looks like coppery rust or iron that's like made to look like rust copper or something, but it's a big saguaro cactus, and there's like a coyote, an oversized rattlesnake coiled up. There's a javelina, and they're all just like different desert animals surrounding this cactus, just like a big statue. It's actually based off of one that's by a library I used to go to as a kid.
Nice.
Aw.
But so, who wants to go next? Hanzo and crew or Carlos?
I have to feed the dog, so
Carlos, it is then. Hello. So I take my little crew back to the back of the amusement park ride that I technically operate.
Tommy and Fred, right?
Tommy and Fred.
Yeah.
And
I'm here too.
I set Tommy and Fred at the poker table, and I put a deck of cards that may or may not have been stolen from the reserve. Nothing you can prove in court. And I set it down in front of them, and I go, "All right, gentlemen, do you know the game of war?"
Oh yeah, we're old hands. You go do your thing. Well, I'll teach it to him.
Okay, have fun with that, Fred. I just looked at Tommy like, I'm not stopping you. And then Carlos goes up the stairs, and he
Excellent.
opens the
Fred,
door. And
or Tommy.
Yo.
We're being put at the kids' table. You want to go out and get into some hijinks?
Hell yeah.
All right, let's sneak out real quick.
the door opens up again. It's like, I'm
Oh, no.
now.
You went up the stairs.
The door opens up, and it's
You're not omniscient. You went up the stairs.
Yes, but Carlos has helped rescue you from situations of leaving you alone for 2 minutes.
At the kitty table.
Oh, real quick, you said sneak out.
No. Let them get into trouble, and then later, when you rescue them from said trouble, yes. So why didn't you stay at the kids' table?
Actually, yes, that's brilliant. Go ahead, run.
Good, excellent. We're going.
So, all right. So, where are you two going? Just actually, we'll check in with you in just a second.
Yeah.
Carlos, so, what are you doing?
So I'm going up into the upstairs part of the area, which is where I have considered Carlos's home. I had a plan to make that eventually an area of operations on future level ups, but I haven't gained any experience in a hot second, so it's fine. We'll worry about the details
By the
later.
way, what's your mark? Just I can't remember.
Cool and sharp.
Ow.
Yeah.
You're a weird fellow.
I'm a weird.
I mean, you are weird, but you are a weird stat-based character.
Yeah, so I haven't done a whole lot yet. But what I could do is I'm going to go find in one of my bookshelves in this upstairs area that is more or less Carlos's apartment.
Sorry, folks. I do need to throw more obstacles at you all, so there's more rolls. This has been more of a dialogue-heavy session.
It's okay.
Carlos
Don't
is
worry, we'll
indeed.
make up for it.
Carlos
Yeah.
is indeed, as they say, you're a weird little freak.
You're a weird little freak.
It's
I know
give us
I
a
am,
lot
but
of
they
time
tried
to, settle things and bounce. It's fine.
Yes. So I would like to roll an investigate to see if I can find the right tomes that may or may not have the ability to seal, an angry spirit who was freed from a cactus, or just somebody uttering a curse.
Yeah, go ahead and roll. Investigate a minute. Yeah, you could do an investigate. So, 2d6 plus sharp.
So I got a 7, which is a partial success.
Yeah, that's still a hold of 1. What specifically were you looking for? Sealing angry or sealing spirits kind of deal?
I wanted to know if I had anything about sealing yokai and or demon-related things.
Okay. So you start flipping through some of your books, and eventually you do find one. You think it's like maybe this will be applicable, but it's not exactly specifically mentions yokai, but it does. You do remember this one book does specifically mention on like sealing jinn or like ifrit, and there's actually a moment where you think, there's kind of a similarity between this and an ifrit, but you start flipping through, and it does say that in cases such as spirits that have been previously sealed, there is a good chance that they can be resealed in the former container or whatever receptacle they were sealed in, whether it be like a magic jar, a cursed stone that is that gets broken or then remade, or like a tree that might have gotten chopped down, a new tree is planted to regrow in that same
Okay,
spot. That
come
kind of
on.
puppy.
Puppy, yes. Alrighty. Carlos is gonna find that, put his thumb in it, close the book over it, open the door to walk downstairs so he can start explaining it to the two down there. Find the card table empty, sigh, grab the radio that can apparently communicate a long distance, and be like, "This is Carlos to our wonderful little investigation squad. I've got 2 runners." And Fred, if you have your radio on you, I am not obligated to make sure you come out in one piece.
Again, how did you know? How did you know that we're gone? You had a task you were going upstairs to do.
You just came back
I
down.
just came back
This would have
down.
been a
This is
while. This would have been a little while.
This is
Yeah,
about
it
15
would have taken some time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is after that.
You would.
Okay.
This is on
Tango Cash, good buddy. We'll get them for you.
So, so Carlos, since you did that, is Hanzo back?
Yeah.
Okay. So Hanzo and Connor will go with you while we wait for Tommy to return.
Yeah, rolling up the bars.
Yep. And sorry, Olivia, but afraid we'll get back to you before session's done, at least.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
So you go to the Oddities and Obscurities curio shop, and once again, it looks like you're pretty much the only customers there as you enter. The grandson, you're pretty sure, of Sue's is there. Once again, what the fuck is that? All right, there was like, I heard something outside, and I couldn't tell if something was like tapping on the wall or if I heard like an engine sputtering in the distance.
Chupacabra.
Fun.
Yeah, I got like jumpy there for a second, but I think it was like some engine sputtering.
Well, you'll find out soon enough.
Ominous. You know what's funny? I was watching Scream earlier, so anyways, you enter and the teenager looks up from the magazine he was reading and he goes, "Grandma, they're back." And Hanzo, you were there last time, right? Yesterday?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. So after, a minute or so, shuffling out from the back is Suze, and she goes, "Oh, you're back. Welcome back."
Yes, we're here on business again.
All right. And she kind of shuffles back a little bit further in, and she goes, "So, still about the investigating the flame-handed killer copycat, yes?"
Yes, and I'm
Or the
fairly
return.
certain we have identified its nature.
Oh, you have?
I believe it is a Japanese yokai, a kasha specifically.
Oh. I mean, she kind of seems to, like, frown thoughtfully as she's, seems to be, like, going through memory. She goes, I mean, that would, from what I can recall, that does seem like it. I do have to confess, I haven't been completely honest. When I helped deal with it the previous time, we called it an ifrit. But
Oh.
that was because Now that you mention Akasha, that does track actually better than what we had assumed. We just thought it was something of fire and vengeance and sand, so
Yep.
I apologize for not being completely honest. It's just it was not a good time for me and the others. It was a rough couple years.
So you're saying you managed to seal it the last time?
I did not, but someone I knew did. Unfortunately, they are no longer with us, but I might have some of their notes still.
That would be
They were
that'd be helpful.
sorry, I got distracted by this fluffy beast that Nora posted.
I'm sorry, hello.
It looks like my sister's cat that we watch, but with a slightly flatter face.
So cute.
Beast.
She goes, yes, unfortunately, I was not present when it was finally sealed, but I might have some of their notes still.
That'd be
You would have
useful.
to-
Thank you.
I do recall it had something to do with the bell. We had to get a special one made by an ally of ours.
I have procured a bell, but what are you speaking of? An alloy?
No, it had to be blessed of sort or of the specific nature. And she goes, honestly, our friend Jeffrey, he now owns the scrapyard, but he used to work there. He made one out of scrap for us back then, and it seemed to work. They were able to seal it. Unfortunately, I was dealing with another concurrent crisis.
I see.
And Connor, as you've been kind of hanging back as Hans been talking to her, your little voice goes, I don't like this woman. She's powerful.
He just basically holds back a smile at that and then just nods along.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Basically.
She goes, I could possibly help it, I don't empower it a bit, but
The bell.
if it's, I mean, honestly, sometimes just the appropriate cultural significance will be all the power it needs, because it's based off of. I mean, my personal theory is that some of these entities and spirits, they are formed and empowered by the collective psychic belief of the people around them that they affect, and it's like a repeating feedback thing.
I see.
So that's why it's no longer proven, but that's why some vampire lores would say they were affected by crosses, while other vampires from different cultures would be affected by something completely different. That kind of thing. Or
This would be
different
so
spirits and all
validating
that.
if I was there.
She goes, I'm
You're
just
not
using
even
that
gonna
as an
mention this to
example.
me later, but like I had a point.
No, they're not.
It's all based on the cultural influence of whatever empowers them, or at least that was my personal theory. And the people I worked with had other theories, but kind of hard to prove.
I see. These notes, where are they?
I would have to go look for them. It may take a bit. They, if you don't mind waiting, or if you can come back, but it just depends. Let me go look. And Or she goes, or, I mean, you want to come and help me real quick. So,
I can do
the
that.
two of you want to help, you could roll Investigate Mystery. As she leads you to a side room where it's actually fairly narrow. It's kind of cramped, and it's like filing cabinets. Just down this like down this hallway, and it's just like, oh, you may have to look quite a bit. But roll Investigative Mysteries.
Yeah, I got a 6.
I got a 5.
Oh,
I
damn.
assume this sorting system is very esoteric and personal.
It is, apparently, as you start going through it, and yeah, it's just, oh wow, this is going to take you a bit. And actually, I don't. Yeah, on Mrs. You reveal some. Well, no, that's just for the specific investigative mystery. Yeah, I'm just gonna say you're going to be stuck here for a while looking as you help her. It's so. Unfortunately, we're gonna leave you there.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a. Yeah, esoteric is putting it politely. She's much like the curio shop. It is only a very loose ordering system.
I'll remember it when I remember it.
Yeah. So, it's you are helping her out. Now, as we're getting near the end, we'll go back to Olivia and Winifred.
That's us.
Yep. We'll probably finish up with Fred and Tommy. So, you go into the library, and the librarians
Who's here?
there is a desk with a librarian up there.
Alright, so we're gonna look for info on the Kasha. I guess that's the main thing we're looking for.
Yeah, the previous flame-handed killings would be most.
Yeah.
And Sheila had mentioned something about a deep archive.
Yeah. This is her talking to Winifred.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
Kelly.
Which one would you like me to go after? The murderers' cases, or do you want me to look for the Kasha information?
I mean, do we need to limit the search? Can't we look for both? They're both pretty distinct.
We could look for both at the same time, or we could split up our focus and make sure that we get the most out of it.
Well, between you and me, I've got a name I can use to get into the deep archive.
Well,
so which do you think would be? I think I'm gonna look for anything about the Kasha or anything that could line up with that down there.
alright, I'll look up here for the information on the murderers, and if I come across anything about the Kasha up here, I'll let you know.
I feel like the person who I got the name from, they found some things about the killings that I've shared between you and me. So I don't know if there's going to be more to find down there on them, but you never know.
Right. So,
Yeah, Sheila said she hadn't done nearly as much research as she would have wanted.
Okay.
But she had other stuff to do. Like she mentioned having a deadline. So she does work for the local news station.
And that thank you for reminding me, God. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I'm going to look for the flame hand killer down there because my source, they found some scattered info while looking for something else. So maybe if I dedicate myself to that, I'll find something we're missing.
Then I'll look for the Kasha.
All right. Maybe they might let you done with me, but we'll see.
Okay. So both of you roll. So I'll say you go to the librarian, and it's a kind of an elderly gentleman, very smartly dressed. He goes, "Yes, can I help you? Looking for something specific?"
Yes, I would like, if possible, to go down in the deep archives. I've got a recommendation.
From whom?
Looks like Winifred. I swear you didn't hear this, Winifred. I will never hear the end of it.
Okay.
Sheila Riggy?
Okay, yes, of course. Yeah. And they hand you the like, here you go, and they hand you, it's like a key attached to a almost like a ruler size piece of wood. That's like, here you go. It's kind of like the old keys that they would give you to access the bathroom. It just has a big old piece of wood
Gotcha.
on it, so it doesn't get lost. He's like, here you go. Archives are downstairs and through the door.
Thank you very much. Can she come with me?
Yes.
All right.
Normally,
Perfect.
normally it's just one person at a time, but Sheila's a friend.
Thank you very much.
Yes. And they're quickly approached by some kids, with a stack of books. They
I
go
guess
to open.
Yes, I
So-
are.
You go downstairs, and it is like a kind of dimly lit, kind of grungy hallway. There's seems more like reference archives and stuff, and newspaper archives. But in the back, there is like a locked door that says, or it says archives, or doesn't say deep archives. It says like advanced archives, and you go in, and it's dark because there's those like microfiche readers for I don't know what they're. I think that's what they're called, the microfiche. You see the things on like X-Files where they're looking at old newspaper articles and stuff.
Yeah, that's microfiche.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a couple of readers of those, and there's just like row after row after row and row of just bookcases and shelving with like file boxes. So,
All right.
both of you roll me investigate mysteries.
Okay.
Let's go. I'm really good at this. Let's see if I roll really badly. Ha! 9. Okay.
Average.
Let me see my sheet. Investigate mystery is sharp, so
Sharp.
+2 on a roll of 10. So
12 or 10.
I got 12.
Nice.
So, you both actually, as you start going through, this will, I'll just say this takes a few hours going through this all because it's dusty, there's really dense, and you're going through. But I will say that with the combined rolls, you start realizing there's actually a lot of overlap from what you're looking for. Like, you're looking for the Kasha and then five-handed killer type killings. Well, you don't really find the term Kasha mentioned, except for like you find like reference to a book about yokai and other supernatural and spirits from the. It's a little probably dated sounding. It's like yokai and supernatural spirits of the Far East kind of book. It's probably needs to be updated. But But other than that, it's basically tells you everything that you sort of know already. But going through, you actually start looking through historical things, and where did I put this? Going through the deep archive, you start finding hits that, there was back, there was the killings in the 70s, but then back in the 40s, not long after World War II ended, there was a series of killings where supposed Italian fascist members, at least that was the rumored, were trying to escape Europe and came to Arizona and Redemption and try to hide. But there was apparently, as it was recorded, there was revenge killings from former U.S. soldiers that had served in World War II and took vengeance on, it's like, oh, you're war criminals that we, were fighting. That was the official thing, but they were all noted as being killed using flame or branded irons, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. So it's like
and
the
then
Vanguard, but
and then
for
years
different era.
later or years prior, there you find a thing about from like the 20s where it was believed to be there were a group of about 7 or 8 clan members that were found burned alive after they had previously lynched and hung several people in town. It was a dark time,
Cool.
and it was believed to be, revenge killing, and it wasn't really investigated because it's like good riddance, so
Yeah.
there wasn't much look into it. But then you start just going through it, and you keep finding all the way back to the beginning of, or just like old timey newspaper reports back when like the printing press first came to Redemption, back when it was like an old west town, and there have just been, you start realizing no one's put it together, but there have been these repeated periods where criminals and violent people have been killed by fire, and it's stretched back to the beginning of Redemption. And then you actually find like I'm going to say that, Winifred, because you rolled so high, you actually find like a journal, like a transcript of an old journal saying, of like one of the settlers saying that there was, that when they dealt with a similar thing, that there was like, even before white settlers came, or like European settlers came, that there were native legends of a fiery, entity that would enact vengeance. But it was over time through, it was only when Redemption started being settled that the imagery of a cat started to be associated with it.
Okay.
Thing's fucking ancient.
So I would get the feeling.
And this would take probably a few hours to get through this, because this is a lot of research.
Would I get the feeling that, like, kind of like what was brought up earlier, that the belief of the dominant people in the area would shape the thing? If it was only recently, after it was settled by other people, turned into a cat creature?
You probably would assume that, and that would be a good assumption, because the first account of it happening when Redemption was first settled as a proper town, or actually Old Redemption. I can't remember what I said the previous name was, but I don't know. It was always Redemption. I'm thinking of fucking Perfection and Perdition from.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was always
earlier.
Redemption. Yeah, it was always Redemption. But so it's like when it was first founded, it was, it was like the first believed to be the person that was charged with these killings, where these people were killed with fire and believed to be set aflame, was a Japanese man who, while the records was a little more racially insensitive, they say it was a man from the the Japanese population that helped found the town, was put to the blame because it was apparently the people who he had killed, well, assumedly killed, you realize, had killed members of his family previously.
Okay.
So you get this feeling that might, you're pretty close to, I'll just say it, word of God. Yeah, you're kind of hitting close to what it is.
All right.
I'll say what that roll. So that will take a few hours. So we'll catch up to you next time. Before we end, since I know it's Sunday and people work, Tommy and Fred, what are you doing?
Well, we're
Yeah.
getting in the jalopy and we're driving around looking for trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, you fuck!
Like, how are you looking for trouble?
That's a good question, Tommy. What do you think is a good way to get into some shenanigans? Find out some important stuff about this here beastie we're looking for.
Mm. Where would be?
Please tell me you're going to the pet store to get catnip.
Want to go to the pet store to get catnip?
I don't see why not.
So as you're cutting along in the jalopy, wait, it's not the jalopy. That's Carlos's car, the jalopy. Your car.
The piece of shit.
Yeah, I mean it's it's still it's
The
a little
POS.
more modern than the jalopy, but it is crap.
It's
But
more
you drive
modern,
along
but it's
and-
worse.
Yeah, it's you hear like the revving of a motorcycle, and you both look over as like stopping at a red light like next to you. You see a woman, like mid-30s ish, but she looks like she's pretty muscular. Dark red hair tied back, no helmet, but you see she's not wearing a biker vest or anything, but there is no mistaking as you look over right on her arm among her tattoos. You recognize the same flaming coyote skull that was on the Hell Coyotes jackets. And she, when the light turns green, she revs off, and you actually see the same decal on the gas tank of the motorcycle.
I think we should follow her, Fred.
Okay, well, see, here's the thing. When you have a car and you just start following a strange woman, that's not a good look.
True, but at the same time, if we save her from the Hellcat, we'll be heroes.
Like as you're following, you see like there's like a sidecar that's actually attached to her bike, and it looks like bags of groceries that have been strapped down.
Or it's cocaine.
Dun dun
Who
dun.
knows?
Hey, Fred, do you have your walkie-talkie?
Oh yeah, sure. Also got this radio. Should we? Well, we got a phone in, so I was going to change the frequency, but then I realized I don't remember what the right frequency is. That'd be a real bad idea.
I think it's 4.
That sounds about right. We'll mess with that in a second. But first, let's get the walkie-talkies out.
Mhm.
Would this be the moment where Gray or Carlos is just like, "Oh, we got 2 runners.
Yeah.
10-4, good buddy, we got you.
Mhm. We also got a member of the Hell Coyotes.
Yeah,
Do you think-
Tommy thinks we should stalk him in a car. I said that's not a great idea.
Well, we don't have trackers like the spy movies.
Can you make
Leather
it
Fred
not
and
me?
you don't hear this because you're still in work. You're still working, and remember, you got to be quiet in a library. You turned it down. You probably like
You're right.
on a table,
You're right.
and it's too far away from where you're currently working.
That's what you get for being nerds.
Well, hello, Bean Boy.
So
Bean.
beans.
Bean Boy has come to visit.
I love beans.
So Fred and Tommy, I think Carlos is probably the only one who hears this. Hanzo and Connor are also busy helping, like looking through stuff. So yeah, it's probably only Carlos who hears this.
Yes, this is all you, Carlos.
I mean, if you want, we could end here and just like let you go deal with this.
I feel that's a great thing. We're deciding to stalk or not to stalk.
Yeah.
You need to decide between now and next session.
Mhm.
So I don't really have a sign off. So yeah, we'll resume next time with to stock or not to stock.
Unpleasant dreams.